Naruto God Level Majin Buu, Chapter 321 to 340. 321 Breakthrough Under Extreme Pressure. Susanoo appeared. Chen's chakra was like, the huge waves rolled, suffocating the space, and the powerful force brought unparalleled power. Susanoo is displayed in front of Ghost Lantern Moon and Sukazan Fuguki, at a height of nearly 100 meters. Susanoo is like a ghost, with a sword and a shield in his hand, which is the state of half-body Susanoo. The reason why Chen doesn't use the mature Susanoo is that he does not need to use the strongest from the beginning, and secondly, the consumption of the mature Susanoo is too high, which is very burdensome for him who does not have the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. Is this the special ability of Sharingan? It seems to be called Susanoo. Ghost Lantern Moon looked solemn and sighed slightly. Sukazan Fuguki next to him also nodded slightly. It really is a terrifying ability, Susanoo. But such a huge chakra is really the best nourishment for my shark muscles. Attack! Ghost Lamp Manu whispered softly, the flounder in his hand shone brightly, a shocking chakra burst out. Ghost Lanman Moon shouted, the flounder is liberated. The flounder is the ninja sword that Ghost Moon is best at using. It can release powerful chakra, and its ability is extraordinary. Only the two circular holes of the flounder emit gas, and then the entire flounder emits light as a whole, forming a chakra aggregate, and then a chakra light ball bursts out, which has a strong destructive power. In the original work, Chenjiro used this trick, but knocked Sasuke's Susanoo far away, with super destructive power. Chen also dare not underestimate. After all, the other party is the Ghost Lamp Full Moon, the head of the 7 people of Ninja Swords. I only heard a bang, and the flounder with the full moon of the Ghost Lamp slammed directly. The powerful formidable power was moving, and the violent chakra burst out, as if it could tear apart the space, and the surrounding air made bursts of movement. The Ghost Lamp Full Moon slammed firmly on Chen's Susanoo, and the sound oscillated. Chen's Susanoo reacted quickly, and directly used the shield to resist. The two collided, and a deafening sound came. It was accompanied by a strong shock wave, and a whirring hurricane was rolled around, and the wind was blowing, and the surrounding leaves were also scattered everywhere. Uchiha clan in the distance were all horrified. No wonder they were forced to retreat 1,000 meters. If they were nearby, they would be affected by the shock wave. The power was truly terrifying. Not bad. As expected, I underestimated you, Ghost Lantern Full Moon. The attack of the Ghost Lamp Full Moon made Chen Duo slightly surprised. Ghost Lamp Full Moon actually has the strength to compete head-on with his Susanoo. This is the first time Chen has met. You must know that even the 3 generations of Kazekage, Jiden, Magnet style, were defeated at the beginning. To Susanoo of Tatsu. HMPH, you're not bad. I can't even hurt you with all my strength. Ghost Lamp Full Moon bit Kiba, holding the flounder in both hands, and snorted coldly. In fact, compared to Chen, Ghost Lantern Manu was even more shocked. Just now, he was a flounder. He used to be able to deal with anyone without any advantage, but it was the first time that he was deflated. This trick has not been beaten by anyone yet. Lossless next, you are the first. Ghost Lantern Full Moon said with a cold snort. The Ghost Lantern and the Full Moon against the celestial beings are often amazed. The Golden Susanoo can be called an absolute defense, and it can even resist a single blow from his flounder. Full Moon, leave it to me. At this time, Sukazan Fuguki made a sudden move. Using the instant body technique, his figure appeared on the side of Susanoo's body in a blink of an eye, and his shark muscle slashed out. The characteristic of the shark muscle is that it can absorb a large amount of chakra. After the shark muscle is split out, it will automatically absorb all the chakras around it except the owner, and share it with the owner. That is to say, this is completely based on fighting. Against Susanoo's huge chakra, Sukazan Fuguki has the advantage instead. Sukazan Fuguki's shark muscle was split, and sure enough, the chakra around Chen was sucked by the shark muscle, and in the blink of an eye, the shark muscle grew in a circle at a speed visible to the naked eye and became even bigger. And Chen's chakra has also been reduced a lot. Chen frowned slightly. Sukazan Fubuki's chakra muscles are indeed a little troublesome, but fortunately, after he had Yang escape, the amount of chakra increased sharply, and the shark muscles couldn't fully absorb Chen's chakra after a while. But once the time drags on and one trades off, it becomes the real trouble. Ghost Lantern Moon and Sukazan Fubuki are both well-deserved cage-level powerhouses. Together, the threat is multiplied. Chen frowned slightly, finally feeling a little pressure. But what Chen wants is this kind of pressure. Under this kind of pressure, Chen can gradually feel that there is an aura in his body that is restless, and he must be approaching his bottleneck. Chen is now using Ghost Moon and Sukazan Fubuki as his own sharpening stones, and using their strength to hone himself and make this breakthrough. In this case, the stronger Ghost Moon and Sukazan Fubuki are, the more they can promote Chen's progress. Due to the existence of the shark muscle, Chen's chakra consumption is very fast, and it is easy to be sucked by the shark muscle. Coupled with the threat of the ghost lamp full moon, Chen gradually feels exhausted. These two people are indeed very scary, especially the ghost lamp full moon. According to Chen's estimation, the strength of Ghost Lantern Full Moon should be on par with Kazekage of the third generation. As for Sukazan Fubuki, it is weaker, but it is also limited. It is estimated that the current Ghost Lamp Full Moon has not yet reached its peak state, but it is also very scary. The Ghost Lamp Full Moon is the same age as Chen, which is enough to prove his talent. Under this pressure, Tatsudo had to use his mature form, Susanoo. Only see that Susanoo is covered with a layer of armor. Susanoo's weapon has changed from a sword and a shield to a double sword, and above the double sword, there is also a little bit of Amaterasu black flame. Mature Susanoo. Not good. Uchiha-chan's strength has increased again, and we have also used our strongest strength, otherwise this time, maybe we will fall here. The Ghost Lamp Full Moon roared. Ask for a reward automatically, ask for a monthly ticket, collection, recommendation, and points. 322 Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. Got it. Damn it, this kid is obviously young, how can he be so strong? State. Sukazan Fubuki cursed, holding on to his fat body, he slammed forward and confronted Chen. After absorbing chakra, the shark muscle becomes as huge as a person. Sukazan Fubuki constantly uses the shark muscle to attack. At the same time, Sukazan Fubuki and the Ghost Lamp Full Moon looked at each other, and the two of them hand seal almost at the same time, shouted, Sweden, water style, great exploding water colliding wave. Under the joint efforts of Sukazan Fubuki and the Ghost Lamp Full Moon, the two performed this ninjutsu at the same time, only to see that the surrounding became a piece of Wangyang, and there was water everywhere. Currently at the border of the Land of Water, it was originally a favorable environment for the Sweden water style, and the Sweden water style used in this situation has a range of nearly a kilometer. The remnants of the Uchiha clan are in the second elder and the third under the leadership of the elder. They retreated for a while, and they were all shocked. This, Ghost Lantern and Full Moon have joined forces to create an ocean, giving them an absolute geographical advantage. The second elder was shocked and worried. It's really terrifying. No wonder Chen let us retreat 1,000 meters just now. This level of battle is so amazing, I don't know if Chen can resist it. Uchiha Fugaku looked at Chen's figure with a complicated expression. I believe he can do it, but my father entrusted the entire Uchiha family to him. Well, everyone in the Uchiha clan is watching this battle. If Chen loses, there is no doubt that the Uchiha clan here will be wiped out. The surrounding environment has become a piece of Wangyang. Chen is within Susanoo, but there is no damage at all. The mature Susanoo has stronger attack and defense power, and the black flames of Amaterasu above the double swords are burning, making the ghost lamp full of moons. Both were equally apprehensive. Uchiha-chan, in such an environment, you are at an absolute disadvantage, although you have this art called Susanoo, but in the water environment, as a member of the Ghost Lamp clan, I can use anything in the water. Use the teleportation technique in one place to evade your attacks. Ghost Lantern Full Moon snorted coldly. Sukazan Fubuki also sneered. I can also fit with the shark muscle and breathe freely in the water, faster than on land. In addition, my shark muscles can suck your chakra. As long as we continue to fight guerrilla warfare with you, the chakra in your body will slowly be exhausted, and then it will be your death. Sukazan Fubuki said coldly. Ghost Lamp Full Moon is also nodding, and the surrounding environment is water. In such a situation, he and Sukazan Fubuki have the greatest advantage. Chen frowned. The situation was indeed becoming more and more unfavorable for him. The weather and the geographical location were all unfavorable, not to mention that the other party was cooperating with two people. But the more this is the case, the more Chen feels like there is something shattering in his body under this situation, and it is breaking little by little, gradually breaking the limit. Sweden, water style, the water dragon is biting. Sweden, water style, big water colliding wave. Flounder flounder, liberate. Sukazan Fubuki and Oni Lan Manu cooperate with each other. One uses ninjutsu and the other uses ninja swords to melee, making. The surrounding waters were all rolled up with huge waves more than 10 meters high, and in this state, Chenyi fought against two, using Susanoo to fight. The surrounding air was galloping, and there were violent chakra outbreaks everywhere. If ordinary genin and chunin approached the battlefield, they would be torn apart by this powerful chakra, showing how fierce the three-person battle was. Even at a distance of 1,000 meters, it is still shocking to see. Damn, someone flew a kite. Chen found that the Ghost Lamp Full Moon and Sukazan Fubuki were also cunning enough. The two did not fight with Chen at all, but continued to use various ninjutsu and flashing techniques to fight gorillas. Chen was completely kited and consumed little by little. Carrot. In particular, the opponent also has a chakra-sucking ninja knife-like shark muscle, which is very difficult to deal with. Lien Chen also felt a bit of trouble. Uchiha-chan, even you can't last long in this situation. I admit that you are very strong. I am definitely not your opponent in a heads-up. Even if I work with Sukazan Fubuki, I can't face you head-on. In this environment, even you will be consumed by us bit by bit to death. Ghost Lantern Full Moon snorted coldly. The current situation is indeed more and more unfavorable for Chen. In such a situation, Chen's pressure is getting bigger and bigger, and the Uchiha people in the distance are also getting more and more worried. However, Tatsu remained calm and composed throughout, which surprised both Kilin Manwuki and Sukazan Fubuki. Strange, Uchiha-chan should be gradually at a disadvantage. Why would I be a little uneasy instead? Ghost Lantern Full Moon felt a little weird, inexplicably a little anxious, just felt that something was wrong, but he couldn't think of it. The attack of Ghost Lantern Full Moon and Sukazan Fubuki, while Chen Chakra was consumed, he also felt that he was getting closer and closer to breaking through the shackles of Yang Yun, and breaking the barrier was getting closer and closer. Manu, I can feel that there is not much chakra left on his body. If we persist, we will be able to kill the light of the stars. Hee, then we will be famous in the ninja world. Sukazan Fubuki grinned. Ghost Lantern Manu nodded slightly, temporarily put aside the doubts in his heart, and continued to fight. Within a few thousand meters, it has been completely shrouded in the chakra of three people, and no one else can intervene at all. Under such circumstances, Chen's pupil power consumption is getting bigger and bigger, but on the contrary, Yang Dun's power is gradually increasing, just as the old man Six Paths said. Almost there. At this time, Chen felt a majestic and vital chakra brewing out of his body, and the power that spewed out made both Guilan Manu and Sukazan Fubuki stunned. Sukazan Fubuki said stunned. He shouldn't have much chakra, what's going on? The three-lobed meniscus of Chen's eyes keeps turning, and chakra emerges all over the body to form a huge uzumaki. Under the constant promotion of Yang Dun, the pair of Sharingan has a new change. Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. Please be automatic, see the underlined version of the novel. 323 Yang Dun plus Amaterasu. Mangekyo Sharingan, who only saw Chen, has changed and become more mysterious and mysterious. The pattern of the 3-lobed meniscus before has undergone a slight transformation, becoming a 6-lobed meniscus pattern, and there are also silk circles around it, forming another more complicated pattern. Sharingan, the brand new Mangekyo Sharingan. The Yongdun in Chen's body is continuously promoted, and finally made a breakthrough under the pressure of Ghost Lantern and Sukazan Fuguki. Chen took the last and most crucial step, breaking through the Yongdun, under the promotion of Yongdun, finally let Chen's Mangekyo Sharingan evolve and become the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. With Chen as the center, a deep Uzumaki and air flow appeared around Chen. Susanoo gradually disappeared from Chen's body, and was replaced by a surge of chakra surged from Chen's body, stronger than just now. The spectators were amazed. The people of the Uchiha family were both surprised and delighted. The 2 elders, the 2nd elder and the 3rd elder, were well informed and looked at each other in horror. This is the legendary Mangekyo Sharingan. It seems that the supreme pupil technique of our Uchiha clan can actually be seen today, which really made me immediately. It's worth dying for. The 3 elders had tears in their eyes and were extremely excited. Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. Even within the Uchiha tribe, there is only one person who has ever achieved this supreme achievement, and that is Uchiha Madara. Of course, there is one more person now. God bless Uchiha. I didn't expect that there would be such an extra member in our Uchiha family. God bless Uchiha. The vision of the family owner is indeed right. Chen is our Uchiha's future hope. The 2nd elder was also uncontrollably excited and muttered to himself. The eternal Mangekyo Sharingan appeared. Chen only felt that the sight of his eyes became clear, and everything around him seemed to be insightful. Even if he closed his eyes, Chen seemed to be able to feel everything. The breeze blowing in the distant air, the insects and ants hibernating under the trees, and the cheerful chirping of birds in the distance. All of this seems to be within the scope of Sharingan's insight. Not only that, Chen's previous side effects of Mangekyo Sharingan have completely disappeared, breaking through this layer of shackles. This is the power of the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. How wonderful! Chen sighed slightly, his heart moved slightly, and felt the unique power of the writing wheel. Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan and ordinary Mangekyo Sharingan are completely 2 levels, just as obvious as the gap between Eternal Mangekyo and Rinnegan. No wonder Madara fought with ease with his eyes closed in the original plot. After Sharingan gradually became stronger, it was indeed terrifyingly strong. Hey, what's the matter? He should have reached his limit. How could he suddenly seem stronger than before? Sukazan Fuguki stared at him with a hellish expression, trying to find something from him. Ghost Lamp Full Moon is also very different, but it is more detailed than Sukazan Fuguki. Ghost Lamp Full Moon said, "Did you not notice? The pattern of the Sharingan in his eyes has changed. It seems that the ability of Sharingan has been enhanced." What? Sukazan River Crossing. I just want to scold. Mother, what is this? Just now, I finally managed to gain the upper hand. Seeing that there is a possibility of victory, the opponent has become stronger again. Sukazan Fuguki instinctively felt that there was something wrong, all of which seemed to be in the opponent's calculation. Ghost Lantern Manu also looked solemn. We are in danger now, the opponent is not easy to deal with. We must do our best, otherwise even we are very likely to die here this time. Well. Sukazan Fuguki clenched his shark muscles and nodded earnestly, killing intent gradually pouring into his eyes. Although Chen became stronger, it did not arouse timidity in their hearts, but made them feel the pressure of suffocation. If they want to survive, they must overcome the light of the stars in front of them. I should really thank you for letting me get stronger power. Chen smiled faintly, and he was naturally happy when he got the eternal Mangekyo, but when he remembered the death of Uchiha Meng, Chen looked at the ghost lamp and the moon and the eyes of the two became colder. Hey, don't come, I just want to experience how amazing the light of the stars is at its peak. Ghost Lamp Full Moon also ignited a raging fighting spirit, and said with a sneer. As you wish. Chen calmly said. When he was speaking, Tatsuya suddenly moved, and he used the telekinesis technique, and he was in front of Sukazan Fuguki almost in an instant. Sukazan Fuguki was startled, but his movements were not slow at all. Holding the shark muscle, he slashed towards Chen's body, rolling up the surrounding water waves that were dozens of meters high. Chen sneered, and didn't dodge at all, but just turned slightly to one side, dodging the most crucial part, and his eyes suddenly condensed. Amaterasu. The black flames burst out and headed towards Sukazan Fuguki, and Sukazan Fuguki also hit Chen with a blow at this time. In an instant, only a wound appeared on Chen's body, and blood splattered. And Sukazan Fuguki's right arm was completely covered by Amaterasu. He screamed. "Quick, cut off your right arm, or you will be burned to death by this flame," the ghost lamp full moon reminded. Sukazan Fuguki's face turned pale, and he didn't dare to hesitate anymore. He directly cut off the entire right arm with his left hand, dripping with blood, which was shocking. Sukazan Fuguki's face was horrified, and in a blink of an eye, Chen took advantage of it, and broke a right arm with Amaterasu, but Uchiha Chen was also injured by the shark muscle because of this. I don't believe that he is fine. But what happened next made his eyes widen. I only saw that the wound caused by the shark muscle just now started to heal quickly, and I didn't see the Chen hand seal, but it was almost healed at a speed visible to the naked eye. This. Ghost Lantern Moon's pupils shrank, feeling more and more strange. This is of course the effect of Yongdun. After breaking through Yongdun, Chen's Yongdun's recovery power at this time is no less than Senju Hashirama without sage art. Chen looked at the ghost lamp full moon and Sukazan Fuguki. He was thinking of another thing after he just used Amaterasu. Perhaps, now he can already use Amaterasu and Yangdun to combine Chu Auto. Please subscribe. 324 Mutated Amaterasu. A few years ago, Chen wanted to combine Yangdun with Amaterasu, but in the end he could only use Yangdun to control Amaterasu to change his form, but couldn't produce nature transformation. Chen is also very distressed about this. But now it's different. In the current situation, Chen not only makes his eyes become the eternal Mangekyo, but also has more control over Amaterasu. And Yongdun went even further, reaching a very terrifying level. Under such circumstances, Chen really wanted Yongdun to combine with Amaterasu again to see how the fusion of the two would change. Once successful, this is Tatsu's original ninjutsu, and it is Tatsu's own Amaterasu. The wound on his body healed strangely. Impossible, this is the wound left by the shark muscle. Even medical ninjutsu cannot heal completely. What is he? Sukazan Fuguki lost his right arm, his face was pale, and his fighting power was greatly weakened, but he stared at Chen in astonishment. For the ghost lamp full moon, the injury caused by the shark muscle is not small at all, but Chen recovered in a short period of time. What is the situation? Chen moved his body at will, and looked at the ghost lamp full moon and Sukazan Fuguki again. Coldly said, "Since you want to see my power, I will let you see it." Chen's eyes condensed, and Yongdun and Amaterasu came out at the same time. In an instant, Yongdun and Amaterasu in Chen's point of view merged, and in an instant, Amaterasu changed. Ghost Light Full Moon and Sukazan Fuguki both felt an astonishing momentum, and the two were also close to enemies. Only see the strange combination of Amaterasu and Yongdun, making Amaterasu and Yongdun merge together. In full view, Amaterasu's color gradually changed. Amaterasu color change. This is the result of nature transformation brought by Yongdun, just like the black Chidori brought to Sasuke by the curse mark in the original work, and the Kaden fire style of Chen before Yongdun turned pale gold. Amaterasu and Yongdun also produced nature transformation. It finally succeeded. I saw that Amaterasu's flame was getting stronger and stronger, and the black Amaterasu gradually became lighter, first purple, then gray, and finally faded, and finally turned into a close in the white flame. No longer a black Amaterasu, but a white Amaterasu. Lien Chen himself was stunned for a while. The flame. When the Six Paths Immortal saw this scene in Chen's ring, it was also incredible. Boy, you actually succeeded in merging Yongdun and Amaterasu to form a new nature transformation. That's right, it succeeded. Chen will fuse Yongdun and Amaterasu to form a new nature transformation. Chen can feel that the black flames before this white Amaterasu fire are even more terrifying and weird. At least in terms of temperature, if the previous black flames tended to be tyrannical and manic, then the current white flames carry a radiant radiance. The supreme power of escaping represents destruction and eternity. Compared with the black flame, the quality of this white flame is undoubtedly higher. Because the effect of Yongdun is stronger. Damn, this kid seems to have used some incredible skills again. The black flame just now turned white. Sukazan Fubuki still had a fresh memory of Amaterasu's power just now. If he hadn't cut off his right arm quickly, he would have been burned to death by that black flame, and even his body would not have been left behind. There's no time, resolve the battle quickly, or we'll all die. The ghost lamp full moon also felt the pressure. If it continued like this, it would be too troublesome and difficult to face Chen. Chen's body moved, and he used the teleportation technique to reach the ghost lamp Manu's side. Ghost lamp full moon roared, the flounder in his hand was released, and the strongest chakra erupted, a chakra whirlwind swept through, and the heavy attack was directed at Chen. Amaterasu. Amaterasu that had been prepared for a long time. I only saw the white flame of Amaterasu attacking, making the ghost lamp full moon feel the suffocating pressure, and even close to the white flame, the terrifying high temperature spread out, as if it could melt people. Under such pressure, even the ghost lamp full moon has to retreat, especially the ghost lamp full moon has to rely on water to liquefy. The flounder of the ghost lamp full moon collided with Amaterasu, knocking down part of the white flames, but still a part of the white flames continued to explode with power, burning the surroundings of the ghost lamp full moon. The full moon of the ghost lamp liquefies immediately, melts into the water, and uses the instant body to avoid it. This blow made ghost lamp Manu feel the pressure, and cold sweat broke out on his head. What kind of flame is that white Amaterasu? Although I haven't touched it, it gives a terrifying and profound impression of the ghost lamp full moon. It's over. Chen is easy to prepare. With Yongdun and the brand new white Amaterasu, Chen is not struggling to face the ghost lamp full moon and Sukazan Fubuki, and gradually grasps the upper hand. Give you death first. Chen looked at Sukazan Fubuki and said lightly. Sukazan Fubuki was covered in cold sweat and looked even more nervous. I saw Chen move suddenly, and the white fire of Amaterasu was used again. After possessing the eternal Mangekyo, Amaterasu can be freely retracted. Coupled with Yongdun's form and nature transformation, Amaterasu has almost become Chen's most advantageous weapon. The white Amaterasu was extremely fast, like a tarsal maggot, and the chirping sound was constantly formed around Sukazan Fubuki. Sukazan Fubuki tried to run away, but Amaterasu chased after him from all directions, as if his eyes were open. Sukazan Fubuki kept using the instant technique to evade, but he didn't use it at all. Chen manipulated the Yangdun and made Amaterasu follow Sukazan Fubuki closely. Sukazan Fubuki was injured and his strength was greatly reduced, but under such circumstances, Amaterasu finally caught up and burned his body. He screamed and was drowned in Amaterasu. Sukazan Fubuki, one of the 7 members of the 7 ninja swordsmen, has been removed from his name. Please be automatic, please reward the watermelon, please read the underlined version of the novel, please download Filu's novel. 325 Kill 1 person, waste 1 person. Please, ask for a reward for monthly pass. Sukazan Fubuki was submerged in the Amaterasu, but saw the white flames burning, making Sukazan Fubuki scream again and again, and finally died before he could even react. Amaterasu's mutated white flame is more terrifying than the previous black flame, with greater power and destructive power. And the moment Amaterasu touched Sukazan Fubuki, it burned him, spreading all over his body, making him unable to escape, and eventually died. One of the 7 ninja swordsmen, the owner of the shark muscle, and the boss of the ghost shark in the original book, was killed by Chen just like that. Sukazan Fubuki struggled a few times in the white flame, and then was completely burned by Amaterasu and died completely. Chen is very satisfied with the nature transformation produced by Amaterasu and Yongdun. The combination of the two produces a very powerful Amaterasu, surpassing the previous black flame. It's terrifying. Amaterasu and Yongdun can actually form such a change. Immortal Six Paths is also full of emotion. Boy, your idea is really genius, it's really scary. Thank you for the compliment. Chen responded lightly, and looked at the full moon of ghost lights in front of him. Sukazan Fubuki is dead, and all that's left is the full moon of ghost lights. The full moon of ghost lights, the first day of Kurigakure, only you are left. Chen looked at the corpses in the field, almost all of them were left by the Kurigakure ninja. Sukazan Fubuki was also dead, and the only one left of the hundreds of Kurigakure ninjas was the ghost lamp full moon. This time, Kurigakure suffered a heavy loss. Originally, Kurigakure was aggressive and ambitious and wanted to destroy the Uchiha family, but they had to bow their heads in the face of the fact, they were still a step behind Chen. It is foreseeable that after this time, Kurigakure will not dare to do anything to Konoha easily. However, the power of the Uchiha family gradually weakened, which made Tatsumi angry. Uchiha-chan, it's not that easy for you to kill me. The ghost lamp full moon also knows that things are not good, no longer entangled, ready to evacuate. Only the ghost lamp full moon body liquefied, gradually turned into a pool of water stains, and disappeared instantly. This is... Chen squinted his eyes, knowing that the ghost lamp full moon once again used the special physique of the ghost lamp family to liquefy to escape. In this land of water, there are water sources everywhere. The characteristic of the physique of the ghost lamp full moon is that as long as there is water, he can move instantly. In this way, it is very simple to escape. I only saw the flash of the ghost light and the moon, first directly grabbed the shark muscle dropped by Sukazan Fubuki, recovered the shark muscle, and then quickly evacuated. The image of the 7 people of the ninja sword, the shark muscle can never be lost, so the ghost lamp full moon first took the shark muscle. I really thought you could escape so easily today, you're not dead skin. Chen knew that it was really difficult to kill the ghost lamp full moon. This guy is like a loach that doesn't leave his hands, it's really difficult. But just letting go of the ghost lamp full moon like this, Chen also has to always be on guard against the ghost lamp full moon's revenge in the future, that's the real trouble. Therefore, Chen made a decisive decision without hesitation. You Amaterasu. Amaterasu. Only saw the fire of Amaterasu burning, and the powerful power spread out, and Amaterasu burned on the body of the ghost lamp full moon in an instant. Ghost lamp full moon also screamed, but at this time, the body suddenly melted into water, and it was torn apart. However, in such a state, Chen clearly felt that Ghost Dengmanu's body was a lot weaker, and even the state had changed, and the state of his body had become transparent, it seemed to be on the verge of collapse all the time. By the fire of Amaterasu, although the ghost lamp full moon used the speciality of his body to escape, but how could he really escape, so he still suffered major trauma, unable to resist Chen's attack. A sneer at the corner of Chen's mouth, the ghost lamp full moon's movements were very fast, and after dodging Amaterasu once, he was even more cautious, and even accelerated his speed to escape, and finally got out of trouble. In the blink of an eye, the ghost lamp full moon has escaped the range of nearly a kilometer, and the speed is not unpleasant, and in the place where there are water sources everywhere, his movement has no trajectory at all, causing Chen to frown slightly. In such a state, the ghost lamp full moon is indeed extremely difficult to kill. But anyway, the ghost lamp full moon hits Amaterasu. This can be a new Amaterasu created by the fusion of Yongdun and Amaterasu. The fire of Amaterasu is enough to make the ghost lamp full moon's physical condition to the lowest point, and even leave unspeakable trauma. I believe that in a long period of time inside, the physical condition of the ghost lamp full moon will be greatly reduced, far from Chen's opponent. Relying on the mutant Amaterasu, coupled with Chen's eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, even the strongest of the 2 ninja swordsmen of the 7 people can't resist. Sukazan Fubuki died, and the ghost lamp full moon was almost abolished, which is enough to prove Chen's terrible. This time the biggest gain, Mangekyo of Chen finally went a step further and became the Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. The Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan shape in Chen's eyes has changed into a six-petaled crescent moon, and there are traces of ripples, proving the speciality of this Eternal Mangekyo. With this harvest, Chen Yi can finally truly be called one of the few peak powerhouses in the Jonin world, and finally reach the pace of the legendary Senju Hashirama, Uchiha Madara and others, and even have the opportunity to surpass them. After obtaining the Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, you will have the opportunity to open the full-body Susanoo. The power of the full-body Susanoo is completely different from that of the ordinary Susanoo. It is not a level of power. However, Chen has just obtained the Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, and has not tried to use the power of Susanoo, so he has not yet opened the full-body Susanoo. Chen, you kid has finally grown to the point where you are today. From then on, looking at the world of ninja, you are also a rare existence. 6 paths old man said. Chen's mouth chuckled. Old man, what I want is not rare, but the only one. The tone is not small, then work hard. Of course. Ask for monthly pass, ask for reward watermelon thanks Filu remind you. Collection, recommendation, score. 326 Eyes of Supremacy. Although the ghost lamp full moon escaped, Chen still gained a lot this time. After all, he obtained the Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, and Chen's strength increased greatly. At present, there are very few people in the ninja world who can compete with Chen. As for the Ghost Lantern Full Moon, even if he was lucky enough to escape, the end would not be much better. At least he would not be able to regain his strength for a few years, which was equivalent to being abolished by Chen. The Great Exploding Water Colliding Wave technique in front of him completely dissipated, and Tatsuya returned to the Uchiha tribe. Chen glanced at Uchiha's clansmen, only to see that there were only about 30 or 40 people left in Uchiha's clansmen, and most of them were still injured. Before that, the Uchiha clan who came to guard the border of the Land of Water had more than 100 people, and more than 70% of the casualties were damaged, causing Chen to frown. After the Uchiha clan passed through this time, their strength must have weakened a lot. Chen narrowed his eyes, and murderous intent flashed in his eyes. Although Chen's feelings for the Uchiha family are not too strong, but it is his own family, not to mention the entrustment of Uchiha Ming. When Chen arrived in front of the second and third elders, the 2 elders still looked at Chen with awe. Even the second and third elders kept nodding their heads, especially the third elder was more respectful. As for the rest of the clan, not to mention, they all looked at Chen in awe, as if they were looking ahead. Chen looked at the crowd. What are you doing? Meet the new head of the house. At this time, all the Uchiha clan members, headed by the second and third elders, were all kneeling on one knee and bowing to Chen, with expressions of sincere admiration on their faces. Chen Wei sighed. You guys get up. The second elder shook his head. Chen, this time it was you who saved us. The head of the family personally entrusted the clan to you, and you saved our life. In the future, if you say a word, let us go to the left, we will never go to the right. The third elder also bowed and said, my life will be handed over to you in the future. Chen, the head of the family must be yours, and we will not accept the others. Yes. Brother Chen rescued us this time, and the patriarch also entrusted Uchiha to you. You will be the new patriarch in the future. Master Chen. Chen looked at the crowd. It can be said that he saved the lives of these people himself. Looking at him with eagerly looking forward eyes, Chen felt somewhat satisfied. Military heart is available. These Uchiha clansmen will surely become his henchmen. After all, if it wasn't for Chen this time, all of these people would have died here. Okay, I promise, you get up. Chen helped the 2 elders up and smiled lightly. Seeing Chen's promise, these clansmen were all ecstatic. A big stone fell to the ground, and their hearts were extremely comfortable. Meet the owner. The crowd salutes. Chen accepted it calmly. This ceremony was what he deserved. From now on, Tatsu has officially become the head of the Uchiha family. Second elder, third elder, How on earth did you guys get attacked by the Kurigakure ninjas led by the 7 ninja swordsmen? Tell me all. Chen rode. Yes. The second elder and the third elder all spoke one by one, telling Chen the whole story of this matter one by one. In the eyes of the second and third elders, this matter is also very strange. The other party is aggressive, and it seems that they have long planned, and they have no time to react in a hurry, so they are in crisis, and even Uchiha Ming was seriously injured and died. I see. Chen nodded slightly after hearing what the second and third elders said. Knowing the seriousness of the matter, he already had some scruples and guesses in his heart, and said lightly. Chen squinted his eyes and was silent for a while before saying, hide this matter for the time being, and don't let anyone know about it. Let's go back to Konoha first. Yes. Of course the second and third elders have no objection. Everyone was very angry with the Kurigakure ninja, but they were also fortunate to be rescued by Chen. There was only one person in the crowd who remained silent. It was Uchiha Fugaku, the son of Uchiha Mei. Fugaku. Chen stepped forward and took the initiative to stand in front of Fugaku. Homeowner. Fugaku looked at Chen with sincere admiration in his eyes. He grew up with Chen since he was a child, and he was 5 years older than Chen, but he sincerely admired the person in front of him, no matter what. It is that anything can be done extremely well, like a legend. Fugaku, your father is dead, condolences, I will avenge him and give him an explanation. Chen said lightly. Yes. Thank you. Fugaku said sincerely. Chen smiled and said no more. Obtaining the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, Chen already has considerable power at this time, and with the layout of Akatsuki, it is gradually perfected. The current Tatsu, it can be said that he is not afraid of anyone in the ninja world, unless it is the powerhouse of Uchiha Madara and Senju Hashirama. So Chen is also thinking about when to leave Konoha village. After all, it is not a long-term solution to stay any longer. The development of Akatsuki has begun to require Tatsuya's personal guidance. In addition, Konoha's top management is increasingly pushing out Uchiha, so Konoha can't wait. But betraying the village has to find a suitable opportunity, so Chen is thinking. Chen and his group began to hurry back to Konoha. Since they are still at the border of the land of water, they act cautiously and quickly. Patriarch, there is a change ahead. We found the ninja team in Kurigakure village. At this moment, several members of the Uchiha clan who were leading the way immediately arrived in front of Chen and reported. The ninja team of Kurigakure village squinted. Kurigakure village really didn't stop. Go and have a look. Chen rode. Yes. Everyone followed behind Chen, and after the second elder, the third elder and others had known Chen's strength again, they had absolute trust in Chen. That is the legendary eternal Mangekyo Sharingan of the Uchiha clan. This pair of eyes alone is enough to make the Uchiha clan surrender. Thank you for your support, thanks for the watermelon. 327 Catch a wild Terumi May alive. Kurigakure village ninja team appeared in front. Chen and others were a little surprised by this information. Chen waved his hand and motioned for several members of the clan to follow behind him, and then went to investigate the situation. For the Kurigakure ninja, the ninjas of the Uchiha clan have already hated it, and it is not an exaggeration to call it a deadly vengeance. In addition, it was Chen's order, so everyone was very active. Going home, there are only 3 of them, and the leader is a peak Jonin, a 13 or 14-year-old girl. At this time, news came from the ninja in front. Girl 13 or 14. Chen was stunned for a moment, and even more interested, he flashed his body with a flash, first came to the front, and stood on top of a huge tree under a few flashes of his figure. Trees soared into the clouds, allowing Chen to overlook the scene in front of him, and in a blink of an eye, Chen saw a Kurigakure ninja team appearing in front of him. As the intelligence ninja said, there are 3 people in this team, and the leader is a girl of 13 or 14 years old, with long brown hair, wearing a blue ninja suit, and a pair of nets under her straight legs. Socks, looking gentle and lovely, with a delicate face, are absolute beauties. This. Chen's eyes moved slightly. He was not surprised by the beauty of this beauty, but because the person in front of him was actually Terumi Mei. It would not be so coincidental that in the land of water, Chen actually met Terumi Mei. But it seems normal to think about it. At present, the Kingdom of Water has also joined the Ninja World War. Terumi Mei is very strong, and of course she will be sent to the battlefield. Terumi Mei led the team. She is the leader of this team. She was seriously investigating the surrounding situation, and whispered, "Everyone be careful, there was a violent chakra fluctuation here just now. I believe that a violent chakra is happening here. In the battle, both sides of the battle are definitely strong, and I seem to perceive chakra." One of the 7 members of the 7 ninja swordsmen, the ghost lamp full moon. The other 2 members of Terumi Mei also nodded their heads with solemn expressions. After Chen's body was transformed by Yang Dun, at this time his body was at its strongest. Hearing Terumi Mei's words in his ears, he couldn't help but smile. For a few years, Terumi Mei has indeed grown a lot, and even her strength is at the peak of Jonin. She is no longer the little girl who told her that she was going to marry her. The 2 were even more hostile at this time, so Chen still had a bit of vigilance in his heart. I don't know if Terumi Mei will meet with him after he learned that Chen killed Sukazan Fuguki and abolished the ghost lamp full moon mind, walked out slowly, deliberately revealing footsteps, and walked towards Terumi Mei and the 3 of them. Terumi Mei, who was discussing, moved in her heart and lifted it up suddenly, alerting her in the direction of Chen. "Who is it? Long time no see." Chen emerged from the forest, revealing his figure. Terumi Mei was stunned, only to see a handsome man walking out of the forest. This man's face and temperament can be described as perfect. What is even more shocking is that there is a unique feeling that makes the 2 people around Terumi Mei feel partners. All stagnant for a while. Terumi Mei was stunned for a moment, then a surprise flashed in his eyes, and then he looked at Chen and said in a low voice, "It's you." Unconsciously, Terumi Mei put away the kunai that she had prepared. Terumi Mei. Chen smiled, and then used Sharingan to look at the 2 companions beside Terumi Mei. Sharingan, S3 Tomo turned frantically, causing the 2 people beside Terumi Mei to collapse immediately and fall into a coma. "What did you do to them?" Terumi Mei looked at Chen with vigilance at once. Chen shrugged. "It's just hypnotizing them with Sharingan." Terumi Mei then breathed a sigh of relief, biting her mouth and looking at Yuhi. "You came here specially to find me?" "No." Disappointment flashed in Terumi Mei's eyes, and she picked up kunai again, but Chen couldn't feel the other's killing intent at all. To hear Terumi Mei say, "Then you are here to deal with the land of water." "Actually, I'm done with it. Sukazan Fuguki was killed by me, Ghost Lantern Manu was defeated by me, and I was basically abolished." Chen shrugged. "What?" Terumi Mei was stunned, but didn't say anything like how this is possible, but just gained a clearer understanding of Chen's strength. Even Sukazan Fuguki and Ghost Lantern Manu are 2 of the top players in Kurigakure at the moment, but in front of Tatsuya they are still, as expected of a man I like. Terumi Mei suddenly smiled brightly. Chen was speechless for a while, not understanding what this girl was thinking. "Since you killed Sukazan Fuguki and defeated Oni Lanman Moon, now it should be a deadly vengeance with our village of Kurigakure, right? How are you going to kill me?" Terumi Mei looked at Chen and said faintly. Chen could feel Terumi Mei's resentment and opened his mouth for a while, but he didn't speak. Terumi Mei saw that Chen didn't speak, so she lowered her head, whispered to herself, and said angrily, "What a liar, you lied to me and said that she would marry me in the future. I waited for you for a few years, and I didn't even see a shadow." His voice was resentful, like anger. Chen heard a move in his heart. It seems that Terumi Mei is still the original Terumi Mei. Could it be that over the years, this girl has been silently thinking of him, and shook her head, unable to help but smile bitterly. If that's the case, then it's really a debt of love. "Okay, Terumi Mei, I officially inform you that you have been captured." Chen smiled and immediately picked up Terumi Mei. Ding! Congratulations on your successful capture of a wild Terumi Mei. Chen muttered to himself, and immediately burst into laughter. Now the scene is really similar. New Year is coming. Watermelon wishes every reader a happy and happy. 328. Are you a dog? Chen carried Terumi Mei on his shoulders. Terumi Mei kept kicking her feet, but Chen did not let her go. Terumi Mei snorted angrily and bit Chen's shoulder, biting hard, but Chen didn't respond at all. Terumi Mei, you are a dog. Who told you to talk about me like that? Huh, even caught a wild Terumi Mei. You die, you die. Terumi Mei said angrily. Chen smiled. This 13-year-old girl is still so cute, it really makes Chen feel moving. Shut up, don't yell. Be quiet or I'll knock you out and take you back to Konoha. Chen threatened. HMPH, take it with you, I'm not afraid of you. Terumi Mei said with a stern look. She is not afraid of Chen at all. Over the years, I have rarely heard of your deeds, but only heard that you and your two ladies have been together all the time. Terumi Mei suddenly stopped struggling and just whispered in Chen's ear. You know it all. Chen is a little surprised. It seems that this girl has been collecting his information. There's nothing I don't know about you. Terumi Mei whispered, unable to help but still her face slightly yuhi. Chen was surprised. Terumi Mei looked at Chen with a smile on the corner of her mouth, and then said faintly, why haven't you come to Kurigakure village to find me once all these years? Do you really think I don't exist? Or, you simply forgot the original agreement and just treated that as a game, or an ordinary thing? The more Terumi Mei spoke, the more resentful she became, staring at Chen faintly. Chen Yi was stunned. The original promise with Terumi Mei was a promise to marry in the future. Terumi Mei was only 8 years old at that time, so Chen certainly didn't care. But what Chen didn't expect was that Terumi Mei seemed to remember this all the time, and she was still waiting for Chen until now. Although Chen took it as a joke, Terumi Mei was serious. Chen couldn't help feeling a little guilty. Terumi Mei really said, HMPH, it looks like you forgot about it. Yes, I guess it's not important in your eyes. Terumi Mei laughed at herself. Anyway, you already have 2 beauties in your family. Chen shook his head, letting Terumi Mei's thing be really his fault. Terumi Mei was extremely resentful. The more she talked, the more sad she became, thinking that she secretly collected information on this guy, and always cared about him, but now she has not returned the slightest bit. Terumi Mei's heart is like a needle stick. Terumi Mei's eyes became yuhi, and there were crystal tears in her eyes, and she was silent. Don't cry, it's not good to cry anymore. Chen sighed, after all, a little soft-hearted, comforting her softly. HMPH, so what, anyway, it doesn't look good and everyone appreciates it. It's all the same. Quote. Terumi Mei hummed lightly. Okay, it's my fault, I can't admit it to you. Chen said helplessly. To Terumi Mei, this girl, beating and scolding is always impossible, and killing is even more impossible. Chen also had no choice. This girl was as difficult as seeing her during the meeting with Wying. Really? Terumi Mei immediately stopped crying and looked at Chen with tears in her eyes. Chen dumbly laughed. Are you crying or not? You take care of me. Terumi Mei roared softly. Chen smiled. It's my fault. I apologize to you. It won't happen in the future. HMPH, if you are acquainted, I have been waiting stupidly in Kurigakure village. You said you would come to see me at the time. What a liar, a liar. Terumi Mei got angrier the more she thought about it. This guy, she cared so much about him, but he didn't take it seriously. He smiled and said, okay, I'm just like a grumpy woman at a young age. Everyone saw Terumi Mei, they were all stunned, and the second and third elders were even more surprised. How could Chen just go out for such a short time, and then take a prisoner back, and she was such a beautiful and lovely little girl? Look at what, he is my fiancé, can't you hold me? Terumi Mei looked at Yuhi a little bit by these people, she glared at her and said fiercely. Fiancé Uchiha's clansman immediately sprayed the ground. Chen is also speechless, patted Terumi Mei's head angrily. These are my Uchiha clansmen, don't be funny. Oh. Heard that the other party was from Uchiha's clan. Terumi Mei immediately understood. The little girl stopped being angry, and made a good-looking expression, which made Chen secretly laugh. Master, this is... The second elder looked at Chen cautiously, thinking that this little girl was telling the truth. What? Chen said angrily, this is an old friend of mine, you don't have to make trouble for her. Yes. Of course, the clansmen obeyed Chen's words obediently. Although they had a grudge against the village of Kurigakure, their relationship with Chen was another matter. Hey, let me down, you don't really want to take me captive to Konoha village, do you? Terumi Mei said with a smile. Chen's head was full of black lines. What the hell is going on with this girl? She was clearly captured, but she was so happy in the end, she didn't show any panic at all. Chen really wants to say, please respect the profession of a rogue, please. I took you prisoner because of your horrified expression, not because of the way you are smiling and wishing you were kidnapped by me. Terumi Mei is a real girl. It is too eccentric, making Chen unable to complain. For automatic, see the underlined version of the novel. 329 The Conspiracy of Danzo's Collusion. Chen finally put the girl Terumi Mei down. Terumi Mei chuckled. You can take me to Konoha, anyway, I'm a picky eater, you have to take care of my 3 meals a day and rest. The little girl kept talking, and Chen suddenly had a big head. Everyone in the Uchiha clan could see something now. This little girl's relationship with the head of the family is obviously not simple, it is definitely not as simple as an ordinary friend. The second elder coughed and pointed at everyone, indicating that everyone should avoid it, leaving room for Chen and Terumi Mei to talk. Chen was even more speechless at this time, but this time he was completely misunderstood, and even jumping into the Yellow River couldn't wash it away. But this is the case, and there is no way to do it. Besides, Chen originally owed Terumi Mei a little. Chen looked at Terumi Mei. I dare not take you to Konoha, or I will definitely be revenged by your 3 generations of Mizukage. Terumi Mei is the lover of the 3 generations of Mizukage, and she is the Kekkei Genkei of the 2 grandmasters. Coward. Terumi Mei's face suddenly flashed a look of loss, and suddenly he seemed to think of something again, looking at the Uchiha clan in front of him, and said, You Uchiha clan, this time is led by the Ghost Lamp Manu and Sukazan Fuguki of the 7 members of the Ninja Sword. People attack, am I right? Yes, it seems that you are very clear. Chen shrugged and whispered. Of course. Terumi Mei snorted softly. Of course I know, and I'm not the only one who knows about this. You mean? Chen narrowed his eyes and suddenly understood. In fact, Chen has long been suspicious. Where can there be such a coincidence that such a change occurred as soon as the Uchiha family guarded the border of the country of water, and the other party was the strongest 2 of the 7 members of the 7 ninja swordsmen? How could there be such a coincidence? At least it was placed in Chen's place. Chen is not believed. It seems that this incident is really strange, otherwise it would be impossible for even Terumi Mei to know clearly. The biggest possibility is that the information of the Uchiha clan was leaked, leading to the attack of 7 people of ninja swords headed by the Ghost Lamp Full Moon, putting the Uchiha family in crisis and greatly weakening the power of Uchiha. Behind this incident, there must be there as a pair of invisible hands operating. Chen looked at Terumi Mei and asked lightly, what's going on? This is the secret of the country of water. If I told you, it would be like a betrayal of the village. Terumi Mei whispered. Chen Yi was stunned. It seems that Terumi Mei also has a special identity and is a disciple of the 3rd generation of Mizukage, so this is the only way to know this secret. However, if this is the case, it shows that this matter is very important. Chen stared at Terumi Mei closely, and said lightly, then you can leave it alone. Chen did not force Terumi Mei. After all, everyone has their own position, especially Terumi Mei has a special status, and Chen doesn't want to force her. Seeing Chen's expression, it seemed a little cold. Terumi-Mei felt a little uncomfortable, and Yuhi said, "Okay, I'm just joking with you, both. Although I said it before, it must have been intentional to tell you." Terumi-Mei weighed it again and again, but finally made a decision and decided to tell Chen everything she knew. Chen is completely different. The girl in front of him actually has such deep feelings for him. If you tell Chen the secret of Kurigakure village, it would be tantamount to betraying the village. There would be no place for Terumi-Mei in Kurigakure village. Chen shook his head and sighed softly. Terumi-Mei said, "Actually, I already knew about this matter. You Uchiha were betrayed by the top management of Konoha and leaked it to the top management of Kurigakure village, so we will be clear about your location, so you will be ambushed by the 7 people of the ninja sword." Sure enough, Chen narrowed his eyes. The Uchiha clan really had been betrayed, and the other party leaked the news to the high-level officials of Kurigakure village, taking the opportunity to cut off Uchiha's wings. Chen narrowed his eyes, and there was a dangerous light in his eyes. Chen had already speculated on this news. But speculation is one thing, now being confirmed by Terumi-Mei is another. Konoha, now Konoha. Sneer at the corner of Chen's mouth, the chakra condensed on the body, and the powerful chakra burst out, showing Chen's anger at this time. But Terumi-Mei, who was beside Chen, was startled and felt that Chen's chakra was huge and terrifying. She had never seen anyone around her with such a large amount of chakra. Compared with Chen's chakra, Terumi-Mei felt that she was like a small boat in the sea, and was in danger of being overturned by the waves at any time. Just the power of chakra makes Terumi-Mei feel a huge gap. "I already know who it is, Danzo, right?" Chen squinted his eyes, and there was a faint murderous aura in his eyes. "Well, it's him." Terumi-Mei replied softly, "It was Danzo who leaked the information about the Uchiha clan to the top of the Kurigakure, and Mizukage decided to let 2 of the 7 members of the 7 ninja swordsmen lead the team." "Okay, very good. Konoha village did not disappoint me. I don't know if Sarutobi Hiruzen knew about such a big thing." Quote. Chen squinted his eyes, thinking that Danzo had already betrayed the death penalty, and said coldly. Terumi-Mei persuaded, "Calm down, you have no evidence for this matter after all." "Well, I know." Chen's expression gradually recovered, and he nodded slightly to show his understanding. "Thank you very much." Chen looked at Terumi-Mei, her tone softened. Terumi-Mei actually told Chen about such an important matter, which shows the little girl's feelings for Chen. Maybe the original promise was just treated as a joke, but Terumi-Mei didn't have it at all, but regarded it as a real promise. "It's good that you know, this time you owe me a favor." Terumi-Mei said. "Good." Chen readily agreed. "Thank you for loving the stallion. Phailu is a pit. Of the 3 things in reading, collection, recommendation, and points, 330 is disappointing." If it wasn't for what Terumi-Mei said this time, it was indeed Tatsu who couldn't confirm it. Presumably Danzo and others have kept this matter extremely secretive. If Terumi-Mei is not a disciple of the 3rd generation of Mizukage, I'm afraid they really don't have the right to know. And Terumi-Mei told Chen the news without hesitation, which is enough to make Chen owe a big favor. "Danzo, is Konoha finally ready to start attacking Uchiha?" Chen secretly thought that the high-level Konoha had always been very wary of the Uchiha clan, and this time they planned to use the hands of the village of Kurigakure to weaken the power of the Uchiha clan, which is enough to prove the high-level Konoha's mind. It seems that Konoha executives are also preparing to gradually weaken Uchiha's power, and then wait for the opportunity. As for Chen, he has become the leader of the Uchiha clan, Jinchuriki column, and will face the hostility of Danzo, Orochimaru and others. But Chen now has the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, and he doesn't care about it at all. To mention dealing with Danzo and Orochimaru and others, even in the face of the entire Konoha, Tatsu has a little bit of confidence at this time. The eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, as long as Master Chenin fully utilizes Susanoo, his strength can even be comparable to that of Uchiha Madara. Of course, Madara with Rinnegan may be stronger later. However, Chen also has enough room for growth, endless potential, and thinks that he is not inferior to anyone such as Uchiha Madara, Senju Hashirama, etc. What's wrong with you? Terumi-mei looked at Chen in deep thought and asked softly. Chen shook his head gently. It's just a bit of an accident. Cunning Rabbit is dead, the lackey is cooked, and today's Konoha is really disappointing. Chen was extremely disappointed with Konoha at this time. No wonder in the original book the Uchiha clan would eventually go the road of mutiny. If there is a way out, who wants to betray? The high-level Konoha leaders headed by Danzo are forcing the Uchiha family to a dead end. Konoha. Chen squinted his eyes, and he didn't know whether it was sarcasm or ridicule. Some high-level officials in Konoha seem to have always been hostile to the Uchiha family. You must be careful. Terumi-mei whispered, with concern in her eyes. Chen smiled. He made great achievements for Konoha, but Danzo of Konoha and others were on guard against him. Is so extreme that it will even bring the Uchiha family into utter doom. Contrary, it was Terumi-mei and Chen who had seen each other, but cared so much about Chen. The human heart really is the most south side. I see. Chen smiled and said, you should also go back earlier, otherwise people in Kurigakure village will be suspicious. But how can I see you later? Terumi-mei looked at Chen, with eyes like talking stars, and asked softly. Chen didn't expect Terumi-mei to say such a sentence, and sighed softly. It seemed that this girl really cared about her very much. But right now, Konoha and Kurigakure village are hostile, so the time between the two should not be too long. I'll go to Kurigakure village to find you when I'm free. Chen rode. That's it again. Terumi-mei looked at Chen with dissatisfaction. You said the same thing during the last Five Shadows meeting. Terumi-mei hummed lightly. Chen gave a wry smile. Terumi-mei seems to be really resentful. Not this time, don't worry. Chen rode. Okay, I'll trust you once. Terumi-mei snorted coldly and said, then I'm leaving. Chen couldn't bring Terumi-mei back to Konoha, and Terumi-mei himself had to rush back to Kurigakure village, so the two could only be separated temporarily. Well, let's go. Chen rode. Terumi-mei bit Kiba, seeming a little unwilling, just took a step and turned back. You don't keep me. Terumi-mei was very dissatisfied. Could it be that I have no place in his heart at all? Terumi-mei was dissatisfied, looking at Chen angrily. Got it. Boss Terumi-mei was unwilling, but there was nothing he could do, so he repeated, you said you would come to Kurigakure village to see me, and it's your word. Of course. Chen smiled and nodded. Terumi-mei got Chen's promise and then left, disappearing into the forest, as dexterous as a kitten. Ask for all support. 331 Chen shocked the 5 countries. When Terumi-mei left, Chen was a little disappointed and a little emotional. Terumi-mei girl. A smile appeared at the corner of Chen's mouth, apparently thinking of Terumi-mei's appearance, and a smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. Terumi-mei finally left. Chen also quickly caught up with the people of the Uchiha clan. The second elder and the third elder saw Chen coming back, but the beautiful girl before was no longer behind them. Not a word. We will do our best to rush back into the clan. Chen rode. Yes. The remaining about 30 members of the Uchiha family, under the leadership of Chen, all rushed back to Konoha village. And the intelligence was passed back to Konoha early. Not only Konoha executives got the news, but all the other 4 countries also got the news. The Uchiha family was attacked by the village of Kurigakure and suffered heavy losses. And Uchiha Chen, who has the title of Light of the Stars, single-handedly supported Uchiha, killed Tsukazan Fuguki, who had 7 ninja swords and 7 people, and severely damaged the first genius of Kurigakure, the Ghost Full Moon. This news seems to have long legs. It quickly spread throughout the ninja world, and everyone was shocked. The Light of the Stars has been dispatched again. After the last ninja war, Chen has been silent for a long time, and there has been no news. And at the very beginning of this ninja world war, Konoha also mainly sent Namikaze Minato to the battlefield and got the name of Yellow Flash. So many people only remember Yellow Flash, and forget that Konoha still has such a starlight. Killing Tsukazan Fubuki, severely injuring the ghost lamp Full Moon, one person against 2 ninja swords, the strongest of the 7 people, and they are still the strongest 2 among the 7 members of the 7 ninja swordsmen. One stone stirred up 1,000 waves, and the entire ninja world was shocked. After a lapse of several years, the light of the stars once again shone on the battlefield, shaking the ninja world, reminding everyone that there is such a person. And what Chen did this time was obviously even more shocking. He single-handedly dealt with hundreds of ninjas in the village of Kurigakure, as well as 2 members of the 7 ninja swordsmen. This strength and record, compared with the original team with Tsunade to defeat the 3 generations Kazekage, is even more amazing. The ninja world fell into a state of silence for a while, especially the 3 major countries, the Kingdom of Thunder, the Kingdom of Earth and the Kingdom of Water, all had scruples. Chen's strength is not inferior to the shadows of the major countries, of course, it makes them extremely scruples. It really didn't make a sound, it was a blockbuster. Chen's deeds spread all over the ninja world in a blink of an eye, and everyone was terrified, and his name instantly surpassed Namikaze Minato, who showed his strength in Sunagakure village before. 5 kingdoms were shaking, and Chen led the Uchiha family back to the woods. After going to the Hokage building to briefly report the situation to Sarutobi Hiruzen, Tatsu returned to the clan. Because there are too many things for the Uchiha family to solve for Konoha, especially the death of the former head of the Uchiha family, Uchiha Ming, and the loss of too much power within the Uchiha family, so the top priority is the Uchiha family. Internal affairs. Uchiha family land. Nanga Shrine Ancestral Hall. Cool wind is blowing, and the moon is in the sky, but the lights in the Uchiha tribe are bright, illuminating the whole area. Chen was sitting alone in the middle, and the 3 elders were all standing on either side of Chen. The 3 elders all looked sad, not only them, but also the rest of the Uchiha clan. Chen narrowed his eyes and looked at the crowd. There is no doubt that Uchiha Ming is a very beloved family owner, so everyone is very sad about Uchiha Ming's death, not only them, but also Lien Chen. After all, Uchiha Ming has always been very kind to him, so Chen is somewhat sentimental in his heart. Uchiha Mei's body was recovered and buried in the cemetery far from Nanga Shrine, where all Uchiha family members were buried, and there were people who were strictly guarding them on weekdays. After everything was set up properly, Chen Kai looked at all the people in the clan, coughed lightly, and said slowly, "Patriarch Uchiha Ming has passed away. Before dying, I entrusted my master Uchiha family. If you have any objections, you can raise them now." Chen's attitude was calm. In fact, Chen doesn't really want to be the head of the family, but it's just that things have come to an end, making it even more impossible for others. Everyone didn't speak. The 3 elders looked at each other and nodded slightly. The first elder took the initiative to take a step and said, "Chen, don't refuse, you have made great achievements for the Uchiha clan, and the clan has no prestige and strength. One person is your opponent, and only you are the head of the family, and everyone will be convinced." "That's right, if it were someone else, we wouldn't accept it at all." "That's right, you saved my life, we won't accept the others." Everyone was shouting and shouting Chen's name. Hearing what everyone said, Chen only nodded slightly and nodded lightly, "I see." 3 elders stood up, headed by the first elder, and all solemnly greeted Chen, expressing their recognition of Chen as the head of the family. Not only the 3 elders, but also the others, all expressed their approval of Chen. Under such circumstances, Chen smiled slightly and finally became the leader of the Uchiha clan. Meet the owner. This time the salute is the real decision. From now on, Chen is the head of the Uchiha clan, and he definitely has the right to speak out within the clan. Chen also sighed with emotion. Finally at this stage, he has a feeling that the mountains and rains are coming. He can sense that the Uchiha family is getting closer and closer to the crisis. See you in the picture. It's finally come to this point. Oh, Danzo, Orochimaru. Chen squinted his eyes. Chen's position in Konoha is too much attention. It has threatened Danzo, Orochimaru and others, coupled with the existence of Uchiha. Orochimaru and Danzo can't tolerate it, they will definitely do it. Conflicts erupt, only sooner or later. In the Watermelon code word, it is estimated that the Hokage volume will not be particularly long to speed up the progress of the plot, that is to say, there are still a few months. The heir. 332 approaching, Obito's death. Chen became the head of the Uchiha clan, and the news quickly spread to Konoha. On the surface, the group of Konoha didn't move much, they were all surprised by this news, but also felt it was right. After all, Chen's strength and prestige are all there, and it's the internal affairs of the Uchiha family, no one has the right to interfere, only Chen can decide. The Uchiha family, from then on, respected Chen. Not to mention the three elders, the first elder was once defeated by Chen, and he has always been convinced of Chen since then. The second and third elders were rescued by Chen, and they did not have the slightest dissent and completely surrendered. It can be said that the current Uchiha family is truly united, even more united than when the previous head Uchiha was alive. Under the leadership of Tatsu, the Uchiha clan was united despite heavy losses due to the attack on the village of Kurigakure. During this time, Chen didn't bother to find Danzo, and the reason was very simple. Although he knew that the attack on Uchiha had nothing to do with Danzo, Chen didn't act rashly, after all, he had no evidence in his hands. And now is not the best time to turn against Konoha, Chen has to make some arrangements. After possessing the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, Chen can advance and retreat freely, and I believe that no one can stop him in Konoha. In the days that followed, Chendu presided over the affairs of the Uchiha family. Shisui, Fugaku and others were sent to the battlefield by Chen, and gradually exercised in the war, taking charge of their own. In particular, Shisui, relying on the Shunshi technique and demonic illusion taught to him by Chen, also emerged on the battlefield, and was called by many people as Shunshi Shisui, and he was also well known. The Uchiha family is gradually recovering its vitality. Although the Uchiha family is recuperating, some people are not happy. Anbu, root, organization base, is extremely gloomy, the atmosphere is dark, and it is extremely empty. The Hall of Gen, headquarters, there are only two people sitting in it, it is Danzo and Orochimaru. Danzo squinted his eyes glowing darkly, extremely annoyed. Other hand, Orochimaru shrugged slightly, licked the corner of his mouth, and a large gray python was coiled around Orochimaru's right arm, and Orochimaru's expression was also somewhat gloomy. Lord Danzo, didn't you say that this time, taking the opportunity to get rid of the head of the Uchiha family and nearly 100 elites, you can let us get the Sharingan, but it seems that it didn't come true. Orochimaru licked the corner of his mouth and snorted softly. Danzo also frowned deeply and sneered. I didn't expect Uchiha Chen to step in at this critical moment. With Uchiha Chen here, the Uchiha family will always be stable. It's really hard to do. Uchiha Chen. Orochimaru's amber eyes also flashed a deep fear. I didn't expect Uchiha Chen to be able to fight 2 with 1 this time, his strength. Yeah, as long as this son is at Uchiha's house, we can't get rid of Uchiha. Danzo is also annoyed. Danzo and Orochimaru are currently working together. And the plot of the cooperation between the two is the Uchiha family. Orochimaru's purpose is to get the Sharingan, and Danzo's purpose is also to get the Sharingan, but also to get rid of the Uchiha family. Danzo frowned deeply and said, there is a problem now, with Uchiha Chen sitting in the Uchiha house. Even if we both work together, I'm afraid it will be difficult to deal with Uchiha Chen. That's not necessarily the case. I'm currently researching a forbidden technique. If this forbidden technique can be successfully researched, Uchiha Chen will also hehe in the future. Orochimaru smiled grimly. Oh. Danzo was interested, and when he heard Orochimaru say this, he smiled, then I'll look forward to it. Orochimaru, research on forbidden technique has been quite effective since this time. Danzo knows that Orochimaru often uses living people for human experiments, but he also turns a blind eye and just pretends he doesn't see it. The two are in a daze, and the most important thing is of course to get rid of the Uchiha family and get the Sharingan. Orochimaru has long coveted the Sharingan, and Danzo's hostility to the Uchiha family is inherited from the second-generation Hokage Senju Tobirama. HMPH, I won't let you down this time. I must get those eyes. Orochimaru muttered to himself, a hint of coldness on the corner of his mouth. The two discussed countermeasures. At present, they really have no choice but to make arrangements. Time flies, and in the blink of an eye, another 2 months have passed. In the past 2 months, the battle situation has become more and more tense. Except for the village of Kurigakure, which was deterred by Chen, the 4 countries of Kumogakure, Iwagakure, Sunagakure, and Konoha, the country of thunder, led the war, and the battle became more and more intense. Some ninja units also suffered heavy losses. Against Konoha was mainly Iwagakure, and the two sides fought fiercely. The 3rd generation of Kazekage in Sunagakure village was killed by Chen, and the 4th generation of Kazekage had just been in power, so Sunagakure village was mainly engaged in internal affairs and did not participate too much in the war. Therefore, the main force of the war has become the 3 major countries of Iwagakure, Kumogakure village, and Konoha village, especially Iwagakure and Konoha, and the war is particularly important. The most important thing is that Konoha had a feud with Iwagakure during the last war, together with the seeds planted by the 5 shadows meeting, which made the 2-day scale Onoki have a natural hatred for Konoha, and the two finally burst out hatred and started the war. Of course, what is more complicated than the last time is that this time, the Kingdom of Thunder also participated, and the 3rd generation Raikage brought a large number of elites from the Kingdom of Thunder, including I and Killer Bee, to the battlefield. The situation on the battlefield is complicated, battle reports are constantly coming from the front, and battle reports are passed to everyone, and the situation is getting more and more serious. Gradually, even some ordinary Chunin began to be sent to the battlefield. Among them, Kakashi, Obito, Rin, Guy, Kurenai Yuhi and other people were all assigned to the battlefield. Chen Duo was slightly taken aback by this news. Obito is also about to be dispatched to the battlefield. In this case, the death of Obito, the Battle of Canopy Bridge is getting closer. 333 Chen and Minato, Crisis. Knowing that Obito and others are about to enter the battlefield, Chen summoned several of Obito and asked them to take care of each other. Brother Chen, don't worry, we will definitely make achievements on the battlefield, hehe, I will make Rin worship me at that time. Just like when my eldest brother was called the Light of the Stars, I will definitely beat that guy Kakashi this time. Obito pulled Chen and spoke by Chen's side, very confident. Chen smiled and patted Obito's shoulder, work hard. Yes. Teacher, don't worry, it's Akamichi Choza seniors who took us to the battlefield this time, they will take care of us. Kurenai Yuhi said with a smile. Chen nodded slightly and patted Kurenai Yuhi's head. This time, it was the Inoshika Cho trio who led Obito and others to the battlefield. With Akamichi Choza and the others leading them, Chen was of course extremely relieved. Go. Chen watched Kurenai Yuhi and the others go to the battlefield, and had a feeling that he had gone to the battlefield back then. He couldn't help but smile and shook his head. Kurenai Yuhi, Obito, Kakashi and others have all left, but Tatsu narrowed his eyes and thought. The Battle of Canopy Bridge is getting closer and closer. Chen's plan is to defect Konoha before the Battle of Canopy Bridge. The reason is very simple. Not long after the Battle of Canopy Bridge, Obito will be completely blackened, and then he will definitely try to control Akatsuki. Tatsu must sit in Akatsuki to restrain Obito. Also, Tatsu wants to meet Uchiha Madara for a while during the Battle of Canopy Bridge. Therefore, before that, there must be no worries, and it is good to solve the problems in the village. After making a decision, Chen began to arrange things. Kushina and Makoto, the two bedsiders who have been with Chen all day, seem to be aware of it, especially Makoto. Makoto was born Uchiha, and knows that Uchiha and the high-level Konoha have long-standing conflicts. Makoto looked at Chen worriedly, and said worriedly, "Chen, why do I feel that the conflict between the clan and Konoha is getting more and more intense, especially after the recent death of the former head of the family?" Kushina is also looking at Chen, those star-like eyes staring at Chen without blinking, wanting to get an answer from Chen. Chen shrugged and only smiled. "This is also natural, maybe you two don't know it yet." This time, the death of the head of the family was accompanied by Konoha, especially the shadow of Danzo and others. "What?" Kushina looked at Chen in surprise, and Makoto's eyes widened. For Kushina and Makoto, Chen also has nothing to hide, and immediately put out everything he knew, making Kushina and Makoto both staring and complicated. "Konoha executives, Danzo people, how can you do this?" Makoto is very angry, and Uchiha is also very nice to Makoto, which makes Makoto extremely angry. Chen smiled lightly. "Konoha's high-level suspicions have not been around for a day or two. To be honest, we are now in a very awkward position. The Uchiha family is always in danger." Makoto and Kushina were even more worried when they heard Chen say this. "Makoto, then what do we do?" Chen shrugged. "Actually, I'm ready to retreat. In the future, I may ask you to accompany me to defect from the village, as long as you don't dislike it. As for those guys that Konoha wants to have a bad rap with Uchiha, I'll give them a lesson they'll never forget." Chen squinted his eyes and said, there was a faint murderous aura in his eyes. Kushina and Makoto looked at each other, and when they heard Chen said they were ready, they were slightly relieved. "We'll be fine as long as we're with you, nothing else matters." Makoto and Kushina both said in unison, holding Chen from left to right. Chen showed a gentle smile and nodded slowly. Appease Makoto and Kushina, and let the two girls have a bottom in their hearts. Chen continues to pay attention to the changes in the ninja world. 3 days later, another news came. Konoha is in emergency. Konoha, Kumogakure village, and Iwagakure are fighting on the borders of various countries, while Konoha and Namikaze Minato are in critical condition. They are surrounded by thousands of Iwagakure and some ninjas from Kumogakure village and are in crisis. Namikaze Minato is injured, and hundreds of ninjas in Konoha are in danger under siege. Hearing this news, Konoha fell into panic again, and at the same time turned his attention to Chen. In such a critical situation, it seems that only the light of the stars can save Konoha. At this time, the third generation of Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen also came to the door, hoping that Chen would join the battlefield and give a helping hand. Chen thought for a moment, then agreed. Not to mention, Chen and Minato are friends after all, and it can be said that in Konoha, only Minato and Chen have the best relationship. Now that Minato is in crisis, Chen doesn't mind saving him once. Of course, in the future, when Minato becomes the fourth Hokage, Chen will not be able to help him. I know, go to the battlefield is. Chen is ready to go to the battlefield again, and he intends to take advantage of this opportunity to try Susanoo's power. Namikaze Minato faces a crisis on the battlefield, while Tatsuyao goes to the battlefield again after setting everything up. This time the battlefield is on the border of the country of fire, and it is also the border of the country of thunder. The village of Iwagakure has invested a lot of ninjas, and thousands of ninjas have entered the battlefield and are aggressive. Iron Killer Bee from the Kingdom of Thunder led the ninja troops of the Kingdom of Thunder to the muddy waters, and the scene was chaotic. Among the three kingdoms, Namikaze Minato is currently injured, and Konoha is in the most dangerous condition. Chen was worried about Minato's condition, so he hurried on the road and soon reached the border of the Land of Fire. Approaching the battlefield, Chen saw the corpses of ninjas everywhere, at least hundreds of corpses, including Konoha, Kumogakure, Iwagakure and other ninjas. Chen sighed and quietly found where Konoha was. Reached their destination, Chen also met Minato. I don't know, when I saw Minato, Chen Wei was slightly startled. is the first time Chen has seen such a serious injury as Minato. Please automatically, thank you for your support. Fei Lu reminds you. 334 AB combination. Nearly 10,000 enemies. Chen has never seen Namikaze Minato so seriously injured. Stands to reason that Namikaze Minato has mastered the time, space ninjutsu of Hiraishin's art, and he has also practiced Hiraishin's art to perfection during this time. Except for the face, there were at least 20 or 30 injuries on the body, all of which were shocking. Although there was no major injury, it seemed shocking. Minato, you are. Chen was stunned. Seeing Chen's arrival, Namikaze Minato was very excited, grinned, but didn't want to affect the injury, took a breath, and finally said with a wry smile, Chen, you came just right, thanks to you for coming. How can it be so serious? Chen asked. Namikaze Minato shook his head and sighed. Hey, don't mention it, the main reason is that there are too many Iwagakure there. I didn't expect that this time the 3 generations of Tsuchikage had all their cards, and their elites dispatched thousands of ninjas, led by Lois. Among them also there are many ninjas who are grandmasters of ninjutsu, just to restrain my Hiraishin technique. Quote. It turned out to be so. Chen frowned. It seems that after Namikaze Minato was named Yellow Flash last time, Tsuchikage has paid more attention to Namikaze Minato and specially prepared some Grandmaster Enchantment ninjas to deal with Namikaze Minato. Ninjutsu just restrains Namikaze Minato, which makes Namikaze Minato's Hiraishin technique unable to exert the strongest effect, so this is the injury. Thousands of Iwagakure. Chen frowned deeply. When he received the information, he thought the number was a bit exaggerated, but now it seems to be the case. Well, there are thousands of people in total, or even nearly 10,000 people. These Iwagakure are besieging us from all sides, and it is very difficult to break through. Namikaze Minato looked at Shang Chen, sighed softly, and said doubtfully, just you. Nearly 10,000 Iwagakure. This terrifying number made Tatsuya's heart move. Chen smiled. Of course, if it's useless for me to come alone, I don't think Konoha can come with many people. Chen really has this confidence now. And the other party is only more than 10,000 Iwagakure. If Chen can't even deal with this, then what will happen to Uchiha Madara in the future? Uchiha Madara can also face tens of thousands of ninjas alone on the battlefield, and even has the upper hand. Although this time is a crisis, it is also an opportunity to hone in. Hearing Chen's words, Namikaze Minato was slightly startled and sighed. Also, I have heard about you in Kurigakure village. After so many years, I still can't keep up with your footsteps. You can, just a little bit. Chen laughed. Namikaze Minato pouted. Come less. The two chatted and laughed for a while, and Namikaze Minato's worries about the critical situation dissipated a lot. By the way, this time the guy I is also here. Along with him is Killer Bee Jinchuriki, column force of Kumogakure village, named Killer Bee. Namikaze Minato said in a low voice as if he remembered something. Chen nodded, he also knew the news. I understand, but our opponent is not Kumogakure village. But Iwagakure is right. Chen rode. Well, maybe we in the Kingdom of Thunder can even try to break through together and teach those Iwagakure a lesson. Namikaze Minato rode. Chen narrowed his eyes and nodded slightly. The current situation is that the village of Iwagakure has dispatched the largest number of ninja troops, with a total of nearly 10,000 ninjas. Although these 10,000 ninjas vary in strength, they are numerous, so all the troops from Konoha and Kumogakure villages are surrounded, and Chen, Killer Bee and others have to try to break through. So Konoha and the village of Kurigakure might be able to cooperate. Otherwise, the encirclement of Iwagakure village cannot be broken through, and everyone will be doomed. Under such circumstances, Chen intends to meet I and Killer Bee first, but Chen is actually very curious about the current I and Killer Bee, and does not know what the current strength of the best golden combination in the ninja world is. The troops of Kumogakure should be due south of us. Namikaze Minato ordered his subordinates to bring the map and explained it to Chen. Chen understood the entire terrain, then glanced at Namikaze Minato's injury and said, "Minato, you should take care of yourself first. I have some medicine prepared by Tsunade here to slow the injury." Chen took out a few pills, all of which Tsunade had specially prepared before Chen left. After Namikaze Minato took it, he thanked him repeatedly. After taking the pill, it really worked. The injury recovered very quickly, and he sighed that it was indeed Tsunade. "Come on, let's lead the troops and meet I and Killer Bee for a while. A long time since I saw that boy, and I don't know what happened to him," Chen said lightly. "Hey, I'm curious too." Namikaze Minato rode. Namikaze Minato was injured. Chen simply gathered all the ninjas in Konoha at present. The ninjas knew that it was Chen's arrival, and they were all very excited, as if they saw hope. After all, Chen's reputation is too loud. In Konoha's meaning is simply an invincible god of war, who has never lost a battle. When these ninjas saw Chen commanding support, they all ignited hope. And Chen, with hundreds of ninja troops, rushed in the direction of the Kumogakure village troops, and planned to meet I and Killer Bee to discuss the matter against Iwagakure. Soon, Tatsu and Namikaze Minato approached the Kumogakure village troops with hundreds of ninja troops. "It's the Konoha people. Konoha's ninja unit." As soon as he approached the Kumogakure village army, he was discovered by the perception ninja on the other side, and Chen also deliberately revealed his whereabouts and did not hide it. Hearing this report from his subordinates, I and Killer Bee led the troops to step forward immediately, very vigilant. After all, Kumogakure and Konoha are also ostensibly hostile. I stepped forward, Killer Bee followed closely. I walked to the front, saw Chen clearly, and was stunned for a moment. "Chen, you actually came too." Long time no see." Chen smiles. The rest of the Kumogakure were shocked. "Is the other party the legendary one?" "Thank you, Watermelon." The name of the legend created by 335 Chen. The ninjas of Kumogakure village were all taken aback for a moment, and then they looked at Chen seriously. Chen's first impression of these Kumogakure village ninjas was, "So young. This man looks like a teenager, handsome in appearance, and extraordinary in martial arts." Even younger than Namikaze Minato next to him, his appearance is surprisingly perfect. But in front of this mysterious young man, there is a different kind of temperament, although gentle, but it seems to be able to overturn people at any time. Even I and Killer Bee stared at Chen from a distance, feeling a particularly powerful aura. I narrowed his eyes, only to feel that Chen's strength is much stronger than when he first met at the Five Shadows talk a few years ago. "Brother, oh, this is the Uchiha Chen you mentioned, check. Make a fuss, yo." Next to him, a dark-skinned big man with sunglasses said in a rap way that this guy is Killer Bee Jinchuriki, column force of Kumogakure village, Killer Bee. Well, it's him. It is the existence I most look forward to among all the ninjas of the same generation, and the one who I think can stand on the top of the Jonin. I sighed and said with emotion. Killer Bee was a little curious and wanted to try to verify the strength of Fanfiction, so he said, "Big brother, let me try his strength." Do it lightly, you are not his opponent." I said seriously. Chen Jian in the distance saw everything in his eyes and smiled slightly. I haven't seen you for a few years, but you are much more mature than you were back then. If it was you in the past, I'm afraid you would have rushed up to challenge me desperately long ago. Chen, you haven't changed at all." I snorted softly. During the Five Shadow talks, Chen, Minato, and I all became friends. Chen smiled and looked at Killer Bee next to him, and suddenly hooked his fingers. "Since you want to test my strength, then come on." A flash of excitement flashed in Killer Bee's eyes. "That's what you said, Yo-Yo." Killer Bee suddenly rushed out of his body, and burst out with the Chunin knife in his hand. Killer Bee was carrying several ninja knives on his back, and he used it suddenly. Shang Chen. At this time, a surprising scene appeared. I only saw Chen closed his eyes. Facing Killer Bee, fierce attack, Chen actually closed his eyes tightly and didn't move at all. At the moment of Killer Bee's attack, Chen immediately moved to avoid Killer Bee's attack. Everyone's eyes widened at this scene, and even the attacking Killer Bee felt a storm in his heart. "You're teasing me, you can dodge Killer Bee's attack with your body without even looking after that, it can break through to cage level." But in such a situation, Chen Hubby's offensive was easy and comfortable, and he didn't even need to resist, he just relied on the movement of his body to walk in the courtyard. Have all the ninjas in Kumogakure village been seen? This is the power of the starlight. Konoha's starlight. Light. After Killer Bee attacked dozens of times, Chen was still easily dodged. Killer Bee's heart was shocked more and more deeply, and his eyes showed slight surprise when he looked at Chen. While Killer Bee finally stopped Hayate's rain-like attack and had to be amazed and said, "Amazing, how on earth did you do it?" Shocked, Killer Bee even forgot the mantra of rap. Other Kumogakure village ninjas also looked at Chen in shock, and nodded in unison, expressing their admiration for Chen. Chen finally opened his eyes. After obtaining the Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, Chen's perception and insight have reached an extremely terrifying level. Even if he closes his eyes, Chen can feel chakra and danger, and can use this to avoid attack. Madara in the original did the same thing. Really amazing. I looked at Chen with a complicated expression, expressing admiration. Chen smiled. "I'm not here this time to fight with you, but if you really want to fight, I will also accompany you," Chen said lightly. Kumogakure village and Konoha are also currently hostile, but the two sides have never fought, maintaining a delicate balance. I smiled bitterly. Although I don't mind having a fight with you, it's better to avoid it at such a time. I also knows the current situation of the troops in Kumogakure village. Now the dominant side is the village of Iwagakure. Nearly 10,000 ninjas in Iwagakure have surrounded Kumogakure and Konoha, and everyone is under siege. If you can't break through, then I'm afraid it will be more fortunate than fortune. Even if Chen and the others can escape, all the other ninjas will die here. It's a worthwhile trip to see the light of the legendary stars, I'm convinced. Killer Bee seemed to have come back to his senses at this time, and said in a low voice, also without the tone of rap, surprisingly serious. Chen smiled lightly. Now Chen's name has indeed gradually become a legend on the battlefield. When everyone mentions Chen's name, they all use a tone of admiration and awe, which is enough to prove the extraordinariness of Chen. Of course, Chen was not satisfied with this. Obtaining the Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan is only the first step of Chen. Don't talk about these useless, the other party has nearly 10,000 Iwagakure, what are you going to do? Chen asked. When I mentioned this matter, his brows were also deeply wrinkled. The trouble is here. If we want to break through, we must break the defense line of Iwagakure village. Why don't we unite, break through the siege at the same time, and break through the defense of Iwagakure village, what do you think? Chen asked. Well, that's fine, but Iwagakure seems to have been prepared for a long time. The commander-in-chief of the blasting force in Iwagakure is now Lois, and his strength should not be underestimated. In addition, there are too many Iwagakure. I agreed with Chen's plan, but also raised questions. Group, collection, recommendation, score. 336 defeat Doden, Earth style with Raiden, Thunder style. Well, this is a problem, and there are many Grandmaster ninjas, plus Doden, Earth style, we may not be able to gain an advantage. Namikaze Minato also analyzed. Doden, Earth style, is an evasion technique that can use defense very well, and coupled with the large number of opponents, it is indeed extremely difficult to deal with. Chen also believed this. Doden, Earth style, is strong, but I have a way to deal with it. Chen's self-confidence. Everyone's eyes turned to Chen, waiting for this. Starlight's thoughts. Chen smiled and said, among the 5 escape techniques, Raiden, Thunder style, restrains Doden, Earth style, and it has a very good effect. I plan to use Raiden, Thunder style, to deal with it to break through. Raiden Thunder style beats Doden Earth style. That's a good idea indeed. But everyone immediately reacted, especially I and Killer Bee. Aichi said, Chen, you know Raiden Thunder style. Of course. Chen smiled slightly. Namikaze Minato seemed to have remembered something, and said stunned, Chen, do you mean that ninjutsu? Namikaze Minato remembered the Raiden Thunder style Kirin that Tatsu had used in the Second Ninja World War, and looked at Tatsu with amazement for a while. Kirin's ninjutsu has left a deep impression on Namikaze Minato, and even Namikaze Minato thinks that it is the strongest Raiden Thunder style he has ever seen. No one. Chen is the only one who can provoke the power of natural lightning between heaven and earth. I and Killer Bee didn't know, they just wondered what kind of ninjutsu Chen was. It seemed to be very powerful, and Chen was also very confident. But this is the end. I and Killer Bee can only choose to believe in Chen. I doubt the effect of breaking through from the side should be better. At present, there are nearly 1,000 ninjas in our two countries, so there should be some drama. This time, the village of Iwagakure was almost at full force, which is why Konoha and Kumogakure faced such a big threat. After several years of development, Iwagakure village has become so powerful, which is really surprising. Then let's break through from the side together. Chen took out the map and observed it carefully for a while, and felt that what I said was reasonable, so he agreed with what I said. I thought for a while, Chen, I will temporarily hand over the troops to you to command, this time I will rely on you. I made a decisive decision and handed over the command to Chen. How can it be so easy to break through the 10,000 Iwagakure ninjas? If it is Tatsu, Minato and other people, it is fine, but the two sides add up to a total of nearly 1,000 people, and it is a difficult thing to suddenly be. Therefore, in order to unite the forces, I also gave the command to Chen at the critical moment. Chen was not polite, and said, since, everyone will follow my orders from now on. Yes. Everyone roared loudly, expressing Kongshin's order. Chen immediately smiled and nodded lightly. Very good, I hope you will remember that this breakout will be a memory you will never forget. First, delist all ninjas who know Kaden Fire style. Who know Kaden Fire style are listed. Many ninjas are a little surprised. Didn't they say that they had to use Raiden Thunder style to break Doden Earth style? Why is it related to Kaden Fire style now? Everyone is bewildered, but still obediently obeyed Chen's instructions, and they all came out. Chen Yi saw that among the nearly 1,000 ninjas, there are about 100 people who know Kaden Fire style, and this number is normal. After all, some ninjas in Kumogakure village only know Raiden Thunder style, and very few can know Kaden Fire style. But the number of more than 100 people is enough. Kaden Fire style is that ninjutsu. Namikaze Minato sighed with anticipation in his eyes. If it was that ninjutsu named Kirin, there might really be hope. But what makes Namikaze Minato puzzled is that Chen actually prepared more than 100 Kaden Fire style ninjas this time. Is this because Namikaze Minato thinks of this possibility? He is shocked, and silently prays for those Iwagakure. Poor Iwagakure was originally besieged by 10,000 Iwagakure, and Namikaze Minato also felt that this time was more fortunate than good luck, but after Chen arrived, Namikaze Minato felt that this time it was really possible to break out. Down performance. More than 100 Grandmaster Kaden Fire style ninjas gathered. I and Killer Bee were at a loss. Killer Bee scratched his head. Didn't you agree to use Raiden Thunder style to break Doden Earth style? What are we doing? Although I didn't speak, he also looked at Chen with doubtful eyes. Chen smiled without saying a word, but Namikaze Minato explained. Don't worry, what Chen is preparing is Raiden Thunder style ninjutsu. It just needs Kaden Fire style to cooperate. You just listen to Chen, I believe, come down and you will witness an incredible moment. Is it? Killer Bee was a little disbelieving, frowned, and didn't know what mystery and tricks Chen was playing, but he could only obey Chen's orders. The ninjas of Kumogakure village and Konoha all obeyed Tatsu's orders, and more than 100 Kaiden, fire-style, ninjas are all ready and ready at any time. Everything was ready. Chen led the ninjas of the two countries and quickly began to break through, attacking from the side, trying to break through the encirclement of Iwagakure village. But Iwagakure village is not stupid, especially this time Iwagakure village's leader is still Lois. In the last Ninja World War through hard work, Lois has grown a lot, stronger and smarter. Chen and others made a slight change, and Lois quickly noticed it. After all, he had 10,000 Iwagakure ninjas in his hands. Chen and the others had a smooth breakout at first, but after being discovered by Lois, Lois quickly led the Iwagakure and the others to surround Chen and others, making the current situation particularly complicated and tense. And others are facing nearly 10,000 Iwagakure. The situation is extremely urgent for a while, and if you are not careful, this time may be doomed. Please be automatic. See the ununderlined version of the novel. 337 1 against 10,000. Chen's enemy of 10,000 people. This time Iwagakure has been preparing for a long time, dispatched almost all the ninja troops, a total of nearly 10,000 Iwagakure elites, led by Lois, surrounded Kumogakure and Konoha. Even Chen led the crowd to break through from the side, but it has been noticed for a long time. After all, the difference between the two sides is nearly 10 times the number of ninjas, and the gap is really too big. However, under such circumstances, Chen also finally met Lois head-on. Chen meets Lois after the last 5 shadows meeting. I saw that Lois had a burly stature, and after a few years, he had become much more mature. There was a plain area in front of him, and Lois had put his arms around him and stood in the middle. On the side of Lois, there are Iwagakure elites. There are many Iwagakure elites, all of them are on both sides, surrounded by 3 layers and 3 layers, densely packed, all watching Chen and the others, besieging them. Killer Bee, and Namikaze Minato all saw their scalps go numb and were shocked. Even with their strength, they will feel a little timid. There are nearly 10,000 people, and if they really fight, they are not sure. If there are only 1,000 people on the other side, there may be a battle, but after the number of people reaches such a terrifying level, there is no need to think about it at all. At this time, even Namikaze Minato, who had confidence in Tatsuya, couldn't help but be slightly doubtful at this time. Even Namikaze Minato couldn't be sure whether Tatsuya could lead the crowd to break through. Lois folded his arms and saw that the leader of Kumogakure and Konoha was actually Chen. He was slightly surprised, and said, "It's actually the light of the stars. I didn't expect to see you here. Uchiha-chan, it looks like I really caught a big fish this time." Lois smiled confidently, as if he completely regarded Chen as a treasure. Lois looked around for a week, then looked at Killer Bee, and Namikaze Minato, and couldn't help saying, "But this time you are all geniuses from all over the world. It would be a pity to die here." Lois was a little emotional, but he didn't mean to be soft-hearted. "Lois, you seem sure we're going to lose." Chen smiled, but was not afraid at all, looking at Lois coldly. Due to Naoki's death, Tatsu has never had a good impression of Iwagakure village, nor did Namikaze Minato and others. As for Lois, he has fought against Chen many times, and every time he has fallen into a disadvantage. It is not enough to be afraid of. Lois snorted lightly, looked at the nearly 10,000 Iwagakure around him, and said with great determination, "Chen, I know that you are very strong, the light of the stars on the battlefield. Even if it was my father who fought you, it may not be the case. Dare to say it will win. But the situation is completely different now. No matter how strong you are, it is impossible for you to break through the 10,000 ninjas under my command." "Is it?" Chen is unconvinced. "But Chen is going to create a miracle today." "That's not necessarily true. Lois, Iwagakure village, I'll come to experience how strong you are." Chen said coldly, eyes narrowed. Wan. Petaled crescent moon and ripples of Sharingan's flowerpot emerged from Chen's eyes, and there was a touch of Yuhi's blood in Chen's eyes. Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. Chen uses the Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan to directly use Susanoo. I only saw the light above Susanoo emerge, the strong light rising into the sky, as dazzling and dazzling as the golden sun. It is addicting and dazzling, and it cannot be ignored. Susanoo. A Susanoo giant with a height of nearly 100 meters emerges, holding two swords in his hands, and white flames spread over the two swords. It is the Amaterasu after the mutation. Susanoo's form is like a Tengu, and its power is like a god, which is shocking. The moment Susanoo appeared, the morale of the ninjas on Chen's side was boosted, and they all turned their attention to Chen with surprises in their eyes. This is Tatsu's Susanoo, Sharingan's unique ability. Namikaze Minato murmured. Chen is now using the mature form Susanoo, which is the strongest state under the complete Susanoo. The height of Susanoo is close to 100 meters, and its power is amazing and shocking. Lois in the distance couldn't help but look solemn when he saw this. As expected of the light of the stars, even under such conditions, you cannot be ignored. All ninjas obey orders. Don't panic, this is Uchiha Chen's Sharingan special ability. This ability doesn't last too long, we just need to persevere and we will be able to defeat him at that time. I have to say that Lois is still very capable of leadership. Under his words, all these Iwagakure reacted, the panic in their eyes disappeared a little, and they all began to pay attention to the changes in Chen. Yes, then you can try it anyway. After owning the Eternal Mangekyo, Tatsu Susanoo's consumption is greatly reduced, and it is no longer a problem for him. Chen Susanoo made a sudden move, and the two swords swung out, accompanied by white flames. Susanoo slammed his hands, a sword slashed out, and came with a bang. I saw was a crack that was dozens of meters long on the ground, and dozens of Iwagakure screamed. All of them were severely injured in this blow, and their lives were unknown. Just one swing of the sword, it can reach this level. This is the power of Susanoo. After Chen opened the Eternal Mangekyo, he was able to completely control this power, and no longer had to worry about other side effects. The golden Susanoo is like the god of war, trampling and wielding double swords recklessly on the battlefield. Every time he makes a move, at least a dozen ninjas of the opponent will be killed in action. This is Susanoo's terrifying power. Even Lois's pupils shrank, feeling that something was wrong, and Lois shouted, "Everyone gather together, let's use Doden Earth-style ninjutsu together to seal Uchiha Chen's actions." Lois could feel that if it went on like this, it would be really difficult to stop Chen, so he shouted. Immediately, countless Iwagakure began to move, and the Iwagakure team that had already prepared used Doden Earth-style. Ask to subscribe to Collection, Recommendation, Score. 338 All retreat 10 miles. Under the order of Lois, nearly 100 Iwagakure moved upon hearing the wind, and at the same time Hand-Seal dealt with Chen's Susanoo. Doden Earth-style, super hard work. Hundreds of Iwagakure unleashed the ninjutsu of lifting the earth and digging, only to see a change in the surroundings, a violent sound and a rumbling tremor. The earth collapsed and collapsed everywhere. Under such circumstances, Lian Chen was affected. I only saw that at Tatsu Susanoo's feet, the soil collapsed, and Susanoo's 2 feet were blocked for a moment, and he fell into Doden Earth-style. Not bad, Lois, you really have grown over the years. Chen murmured something in a low voice, but he was very calm. Chen is in danger, should we go up and help? The hot-tempered eye said immediately. A hint of coldness appeared on the corner of his mouth, and he snorted angrily. That's right, with so many people fighting against one person, this Lois is really shameless. 8 Square Kiba Road, Cutting Yalu. Killer Bee began to rap again, humming softly. Killer Bee and I both looked at Chen, were angry for Chen, and wanted to rush to help. Don't worry. Namikaze Minato, who knew Chen's character well, stopped the two of them. Namikaze Minato said, I know Chen's character best, he never does anything he is not sure about. Since he didn't ask how to help, we'll just watch. Namikaze Minato knew that Tatsu couldn't be bothered at this time, and Tatsu seemed to be completely at ease. Okay. I looked at Iwagakure village a little unwillingly, and cursed softly, damn Iwagakure, sooner or later I will kill them. Chen's Susanoo fell into the mud. Chen was not in a hurry, and that alone really couldn't trap him. Chen himself also intends to use this battle to sharpen himself, to further strengthen Susanoo, and gradually reach the complete Susanoo. Chen has just opened the Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, so I have not yet fully mastered the use of Susanoo. So Chen Yi took this opportunity to sharpen himself. Chen smiled calmly and controlled Susanoo. I saw was that the double swords in Susanoo's hand turned, and the white flames scorched, causing the surrounding earth to crack, and deep cracks appeared. The trees, boulders, etc. on these grounds are insignificant compared to Susanoo. Susanoo dealt with them effortlessly and got out of Doden, Earth style, at once. Damn, you have to stop him for me. I don't believe in Yukiang. Can it be impossible to defeat him with one enemy? Lois shouted loudly, raised his arms and shouted, brothers, as long as the Uchiha Chenrin can be killed here today, Konoha and Kumogakure will not be a worry from now on. On the contrary, if they are let go, the outcome of this fight will be hard to say. Everyone listen, I want to stop Uchiha Chen. After Lois shouted loudly, they all turned their attention to Chen, and they all used Doden, Earth style, and other ninjutsu to attack Susanoo. Fortunately, Susanoo's absolute defense is extremely strong, ordinary ninjutsu. Not even an ounce of damage at all. And Lois also gradually saw that something was wrong, because Chen's Susanoo lasted too long this time. Such a long time has completely exceeded the display on Chen's data. Chen, as a famous figure in the 5 countries, of course, his information is also known to Akatsuki by the senior officials of the 5 countries, including the usage time of Susanoo. The last time Tatsun and the 3rd generation of Kazekage fought, Susanoo only took about 5 minutes, but this time it was far more than that. Ketchen still seemed to be able to handle it with ease, which made Lois have a bad premonition. This is really troublesome. Uchiha Chen is getting stronger and stronger. There was a sense of unease in Lois's heart, but he didn't know where this uneasiness came from, and just wanted to solve the battle quickly. Chen looked calm, and from beginning to end he controlled Susanoo to fight with ease. Even in the face of nearly 10,000 Iwagakure, Chen was still calm. Of course, although Iwagakure claims to have nearly 10,000 people, the number of people who can attack Chen at the same time is limited, so Chen seems very relaxed. It would be interesting if I could take Susanoo a step further, to a full-body Susanoo, so that Susanoo has wings, plus the strength to go a step further. Chen thought to himself. The master is completely Susanoo. Chen's strength will be no less than Uchiha Madara before Rinnegan, or even stronger. The reason is very simple, because Chen not only has the Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, but also has Yongdun in his body, which is simply another fairy body, another Senjuhashirama. So Chen's strength at this time is extremely amazing. I only saw a violent chakra erupting from Chen's body. This chakra rose into the sky, surging like a flash flood, causing Lois in the distance to change his color, and he could never imagine Chen's strength. To be able to reach this point. This terrible breath, Uchiha Chen really deserves to be Uchiha Chen. No wonder even his father is so jealous of him. Lois finally felt a little apprehension in his heart. Chen brought out the chakra and blasted the powerful chakra belonging to him. Everyone in the field was shocked, especially Namikaze Minato, who looked complicated. Chen, so you have already reached this level. Namikaze Minato murmured to himself. He and Chen are best friends, and he is happy for Chen at the moment, and there is a little desire to catch up with Chen in his heart. In fact, Namikaze Minato's strength is also very strong at this time. His Hiraishin technique has reached a level that is not inferior to the 2nd generation Hokage, and his strength has reached Kage level. But the more this happened, the more Namikaze Minato could feel the gap between him and Tatsu. Namikaze Minato looked at the figure in the distance. Who was fighting against Iwagakure? His mind swayed. This is a real battle of 100,000. Everyone listens to my orders, except Kaden, Fire Style, Ninja, all retreat 10 miles. At this time, Chen's expression turned solemn, and he suddenly shouted loudly. Namikaze Minato was stunned for a moment, that trick is finally coming. Ask for a reward for watermelon. Please read the underlined version of the novel. Please download Philu's novel. 339 Susano, Kirin. All stepped back 10 miles. Chen's words were beyond doubt, causing both Konoha and Kumogakure's ninjas to be stunned, looking at Chen's eyes with shock. And it was at this time that Namikaze Minato's expression changed. You all listen carefully, retreat for me, all obey Chen's orders, retreat, and retreat as far as possible. I and Killer Bee were confused. They both nodded slightly when they saw Namikaze Minato speak so seriously, and began to lead the crowd to retreat. These ninjas became more and more puzzled. What the hell did Uchiha Chen want to do? Could it be that Chen didn't want them to intervene in this war from the beginning, and wanted to deal with nearly 10,000 Iwagakure alone? How is this possible? This is absolutely not. It can be done by human beings. If it can do this, the name Uchiha Chen will be a legend. Many ninjas looked at each other, and they were even more puzzled when they retreated, and they were full of doubts about Chen. Whether he can do it is the question in the hearts of everyone. Following this question, everyone subconsciously shook their heads again, only thinking that it was impossible, but for today's plan, it seems that they can only believe in Chen. Minato, what are you planning to do? I couldn't help it, and finally asked Namikaze Minato. Minato glanced at the sky with a complicated look, then looked at Chen's direction, and murmured, I can't tell you the specifics, but you should keep your eyes open and see clearly. I promise, it will be unforgettable for you. This ninjutsu is absolutely beyond anyone's imagination. I and Killer Bee looked at each other, and they both saw the unconcealed surprise in each other's eyes, so they nodded slightly. Okay, we got it. Killer Bee, let them retreat first. We can get as far away as possible, so as not to be affected. Namikaze Minato rode. But Chen just said back 10 miles, wouldn't it be too exaggerated? Killer Bee muttered. It's not an exaggeration at all, you'll know in a moment. Except for the hundreds of Kaiden fire-style ninjas, all the other ninjas retreated and left the battlefield area. And Lois was also stunned by Chen's sudden greeting, extremely surprised, and squinted at Chen and said, Uchiha Chen, what are you planning to do, with over 100 ninjas trying to attack us? Lois was really startled by Chen's actions for a while, but then a sneer appeared on the corner of his mouth. He didn't believe what kind of tricks Chen could play with over 100 ninjas. Chen squinted his eyes, and the pattern of the eternal Mangekyo emerged. Chen lightly instructed the remaining 100 Kaiden fire-style ninjas in the arena and said, all of you, use all your strength to release Kaiden fire-style towards the middle, even though release. Yes. Has also been with these Kaiden fire-style ninjas before. At a critical moment, these Kaiden fire-style ninjas all listened to Chen's words and began to release Kaiden fire-style one by one. Kaiden fire-style, the art of balsam. Kaiden fire-style, fire dragon art. Kaiden fire-style, fire dragon fire bullet. Kaiden fire-style. Hundreds of Kaiden fire-style ninjas released into the sky. When Kaiden fire-style is released, the entire sky is instantly dyed by flames, like blood, which is extremely terrifying, and a large amount of chakra bursting out of the sky will shock anyone. The surrounding air was immediately evaporated to dryness, and there was a hot breath everywhere, and at the same time, a group of huge dark clouds could be seen in the sky at a speed visible to the naked eye. These dark clouds cover the sky and are formed by the updraft formed by the burning of Kaiden fire-style, causing the thunderclouds in the sky to condense, which is shocking. No, Uchiha Chen is going to prepare a large-scale ninjutsu. The hundreds of Kaiden fire-style ninjas were just helping him to complete this technique. Be careful, everyone. Seeing a clue, Lois immediately roared loudly, and the voice spread throughout the battlefield, causing all these ninjas to nod their heads, one by one as if they were facing a formidable enemy. Chen Yi smiled. Lois, did you actually see it? But unfortunately, it's too late. I know that you ninjas in Iwagakure village are all Grandmaster Doden, Earth-style defense, but this time I have prepared a big gift for you. You can enjoy it later. The bad premonition in Lois's heart is getting stronger and stronger, and even Lois's heart trembles slightly, as if he understands what will happen next. Constantly released by more than 100 Kaiden fire-style ninjas in the sky, and the dark clouds in the air gather, covering the sky and the sun. Black cloud is pressing down on the city and the city is about to be destroyed, and it seems to be such a scene to describe. Dark clouds were endless, and it was almost impossible to see the edge, obscuring the nearby sky. Among the layers of clouds, there are faint thunder and lightning released from each other. The lightning is excited, the thunder is flashing, and it is accompanied by a dull thunderous sound. Susanoo on Chen's body became stronger, and the golden light erupted, dazzling. At this moment, Chen closed his eyes suddenly, and suddenly hand seal. At the same time, Susanoo actually did the same thing with Tatsu, and cooperated with Tatsu hand seal. Chen and Susanoo hand seal at the same time. The power of ninjutsu is instantly magnified, and a chakra surges out like a stormy sea, bursting out. Between heaven and earth, it seems that only Chen is left alone. Susanoo, Kirin. Chen gave a low drink, and the hand seal was completed. Boom! With a loud bang, I saw a sturdy thunderbolt like a few people falling from the sky, and the strongest sound broke out. With the loud bang, I saw the thunder and lightning above the clouds. Morphological changes. I only saw the thunder and lightning in the clouds in the sky, as if to form a legendary Kirin mythical beast, with a dragon head and a horse body. Majestic and majestic, Kirin roared in the clouds, with a lifelike expression and a huge size. This Kirin behemoth is more terrifying than the Raiden Thunder style Kirin created by Chen before, with a range of thousands of meters, covering everything. It's over, Susanoo, Kirin. Chen let out a low voice. His voice was like a judgment. In an instant, lightning engulfed everything. Ask for a reward for watermelon thanks to the 3 Things of Reading collection, recommendation, score. 340 from today onwards, it is God. What's the matter with this ninjutsu? It uses the thunder and lightning in nature to generate power, and then completes the shape change. Only seeing Ai's expression, he was extremely shocked, completely shocked by this technique. What a strong ninjutsu, this ninjutsu is really scary. Killer Bee also trembled. If I am within the scope of this ninjutsu, I am afraid that I will be torn apart in an instant. Yeah, it's an incredible ninjutsu. The power of lightning in nature brings people too many surprises. Is this the light of the stars? Ai is also indescribable. Susanoo, Kirin. With Chen's loud shout, even the Kirin mythical beast in the sky roared for it, as if he completely obeyed Chen's will, and completely bowed his head to Chen. And lightning of nature seemed to surrender to Chen at this moment. It was not the first time Namikaze Minato had seen this ninjutsu, but it was still indescribable, and there was a moment of silence. Iwagakure around Lois and others felt a palpitating pressure. At this moment, Chen seems to be the only color in the sky. Is he still human? Even the legendary Kirin beast obeys his orders. And Iwagakure muttered to himself, his expression broken. Yeah, this. Idiot, this is not the real Kirin beast, it is the lightning force of nature. But this is even more terrifying, even the natural thunder and lightning obey him. Iwagakure began to collapse, because the scene in front of me was really spectacular, only to see a huge Kirin mythical beast formed by black clouds that stretched for thousands of meters, and this Kirin mythical beast composed of thunder and lightning turned out to be like Chen's pet, obeying Chen's order. Susanoo Kirin, the inspiration for this art is Uchiha Madara's meteorite falling from the sky in the original book. When Uchiha Madara performed the ninjutsu of falling meteors from the sky, he used Susanoo to hand seal with himself, and his power was multiplied. And Chen is also the same, using the Susanoo hand seal, guide the thunder and lightning, and create Susanoo Kirin. Go, Kirin! Chen waved his hand, the divine beast roared and roared down from the sky, sending out a thunderous strike that shocked everyone. 10 miles away, I could only smell the pungent burnt smell in the sky, and the surrounding land was pitch black. Trees, grasses, and stones all disappeared and turned into black ashes. Everything is just in an instant. The sky, the earth, and the river seemed to disappear, and the whole world was nothing but the angry roar of the Kirin mythical beast. On the ground, the corpses of Iwagakure ninjas were everywhere, almost everywhere, and the corpses were all dark, and the pungent smell came. Susanoo Kirin, made by Chen, this time is many times stronger than the original Kirin. First, more than 100 Kaiden fire-style ninjas create updrafts to form cumulonimbus clouds, and dark clouds that stretch for thousands of meters create thunder and lightning. Make use of it again. The scope of this Kirin is at least 10 times larger than what Chen used before, or even more than that. Killer Bee and others all opened their eyes. If they hadn't seen it with their own eyes, they would never have believed that there was a ninjutsu that could cause such powerful damage. What a man, like a god! Killer Bee murmured, and even forgot the mantra of rap in shock. Iwagakure's corpses are everywhere. In fact, Kirin's ninjutsu is indistinguishable from enemy and enemy, so Chen also used Susanoo to help the hundreds of Kaiden fire-style ninjas resist the lightning strike, otherwise they will definitely die. Hundreds of Kaiden fire-style ninjas witnessed it with their own eyes and knew how earth-shattering Chen's blow was, and they all looked at Chen in admiration and completely surrendered to it. After this blow, although nearly 10,000 Iwagakure were not completely wiped out, at least 9 out of 10 of all Iwagakure were injured, and the death toll was at least 2,000, and possibly more than 3,000. And Chen only used one ninjutsu. Enough to see Chen's terror. I believe that from today onwards, it will truly create a legend. Raiden Thunder style has a strong restraint effect on Doden Earth style, so even the ninjas in Iwagakure village use Doden Earth style to resist the effect is not strong. Except for some Grandmaster Absolute Defense ninjas can survive. In addition, almost none of the other ninjas close to Kirin survived. Due to Chen's attack, the encirclement formed by nearly 10,000 Iwagakure also opened a big gap, and Chen and the others could finally break out. Chen looked at the silent ninjas all over the place, no matter what. Was Iwagakure or Kumogakure, the ninja of Konoha? There was a moment of speechless silence. All of them looked at Chen stupidly. Most of them had not turned their heads and were immersed in shock. What are you still doing to break through? Chen let out a low drink, which made everyone wake up like a dream. I and the others reacted quickly, and only then did they lead the troops close to Chen and meet with Chen. They had retreated 10 miles just now, and they were too far away from Chen, so they had to meet first. And Chen is looking at Iwagakure. Only see that Iwagakure has no morale, and even the leader of Iwagakure, Lois, was seriously injured by Kirin's blow just now. Chen took a step forward. The surrounding Iwagakure retreated subconsciously. The surroundings were quiet and silent, and no one dared to talk to Chen, and no one dared to do anything to Chen. These Iwagakure's eyes were hesitant and frightened, and they didn't even dare to meet Chen's eyes. Every time Chen got closer, they kept going backwards. There is no doubt that Chen at this time is as terrifying as a ghost in the hearts of these Iwagakure ninjas. Most of these Iwagakure have even lost the courage to fight Chen. I and the others have finally caught up with Chen. At this time, although there were still thousands of Iwagakure dead, most of them were just injured, but they had no intention of fighting and did not dare to act at all. Chen walked very slowly, moving forward step by step. But still no one dared to stop him. He could only watch the ghost-like man, walking out of the circle of 10,000 people as if walking in the courtyard. The power is so powerful. To read the underlined version of the novel.